What up, boys? It is Tricks Ridiculous. Yo, this stream is super muted. Oh, man. Oh, where's my phone? It was here. There it is. So this should be a banger. I've heard talks of a banger coming. I guess we'll have to see. Let me just make sure. Should be a banger. Oh God, I've heard talk the echo, the big echo.
Maybe.
Oh, we got him.
Well, that's something.
Okay, so wrong channel. It's obviously grabbing your computer. I'm gonna say something dumb. Is the Zoom meeting
we got
on RDP
Yo, Nate
or on your other
Ace. We
computer?
got a celebrity in the building. What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man? Jason Jones, what's going on, man? They're probably saying things like, "Won't be surprised we pop out Carol Danvers." Yeah, no, yeah, right. They were actually talking about Spider-Man's abilities, and they were telling everything about the raid, but we were just on mute. So, what are you gonna do?
Do it live. We'll do it live. We got this.
Oh, really? So everything about the diagrams totally went to chat.
I'm hearing that this is supposed to be the banger stream to end all banger dev streams.
I guess we can just go. We can start going.
Just
we
go.
Don't have a,
just go.
We don't have a
time,
handler.
boys.
We don't have a moderator.
Fuck the handler. Fuck the moderator. You don't need a mod. Fucking it's the most toxic community in the history of the world anyway. Just let's just go.
Update as well as the gear update moving forward into the next patch, and I am here to take up.
How's the sound, everybody?
Time to talk about a lot of the
how
cool
is the
stuff
sound? My voice compared to
in the
the
next
background.
Awesome.
And Mike,
because I don't normally do these. I don't really have
any
settings for these,
updates,
so
or
just
did
let
you
me
want to
know in
like
chat,
preface
guys,
this with any high-level updates on the roadmap?
Sure. Well, just to give you high level,
hear this
sorry about
good.
the technical
What's up, Renee?
difficulties. These things happen, but I'm confident we will figure this out in the near term here. That being said, happy to be back. Glad to help and share information with the community. Always fun to do that. That being said,
Sounds
today
great.
I'm
Thanks,
going to try
Nate.
and
Thank
talk
you, sir.
very little, actually. We have Alex here today, an awesome member of our
I'm going to talk very little.
team.
Brings a guy on the chat.
Can't wait
I'm going to talk very
with
little.
You some of the exciting stuff we've been working on. I know we shared some more information, a little bit more on the roadmap earlier, and we got some really awesome updates coming out today. You know, and over the next couple weeks. But we definitely have some progression-related topics right today, Alex. We wanted to go over.
Absolutely. All right. So
there's no update today.
Get into
I think
interesting, cool information right now with resource rework. High level, we will be removing Polycoron, Catalyst, Nanotube, and Plasma as a necessary resource for you to for upgrading gear, for mission completion, what have you. When we remove those resources, we are actually, when a player logs in, we are going to crush all of those resources they have, and we're going to give you a set amount of fragments, upgrade modules, and Polycoron. The 3 resources we are going to continue on for the
good because I've got 9999
dedicated to gear upgrading as well as improving your major artifact. On top of that, we are also going to be increasing the amount of fragments, modules, and Polycoron you have. So even if you are currently maxed out, when the patch comes around, you are going to be not full. So you are going to still fill that out to some extent. How much rare resources you have currently. I believe Andy actually has a screenshot of what players will see once they log into the game. If you could,
UI update,
show that.
Yeah, I know he's still working on.
So excited! Look how excited Andy is.
But this is exciting stuff, right, Alex? I mean, we're raising the cap
this isn't the game.
of the resources that are going to be very valuable for players. so they'll be able to have more. And on top of which, we're streamlining.
Oh, it's Spider-Man! Oh, it's actual Spider-Man!
What the resources are for, so players know what to do with
them.
And
shit!
They're not going to lose.
Oh shit!
What they had earned, right? This is where that
chat must be going crazy.
Absolutely. We don't want you to. You have a bunch of rare resources.
There he
is.
10,000. Wow, what a reveal!
A lot of players had
the big reveal.
Those resources.
This is the big reveal of Spider-Man. He comes behind a fucking window.
Upgrading, and we're streamlining that process.
I love it.
So we're removing the net need for those resources and shifting everything over to
he looks
fragments
good.
and
He
modules
looks good.
with the new
so
upgrade
excited.
system, which will be what we'll talk about next. But let's finish this encapsulated part first. So fragments and modules are going to be for gear upgrading, fragments are going to be used for gear purchasing, and fragments and polychoron are going to be used for your major artifact improvement. The old system is gone on that upgrading and where you use those rare resources. So that comes back to the point of like, okay, well,
so polychlorons are not being
how
removed.
Is these new
I think he
resources
misspoke.
going to be distributed, or how are the existing resources distributed? Dismantling gear pretty much going to stay the same, but you're not going to get rare resources. And polychoron is going to be almost a guaranteed if you're dismantling exotic quality.
Okay.
Obviously, the fragments and modules that you get from dismantling gear goes up based on the quality. Enemies. Some enemies are going to be giving out more fragments more often or in higher quantities more often.
Some more fragments.
And it's going to be based on the size of enemy, difficulty of enemy. Adept
Adaptoids
Adaptoids is going to be giving out fragments more often.
This guy needs to shut up so we can get that Spider-Man. Let's go.
Mission rewards. All missions are going to have some amount of fragment reward, some amount of fragments as a base mission reward. The longer the mission, the larger amount that you're going to be getting. Strong boxes. The only strong box that's actually going to be giving out fragments now going forward is going to be the stockpile strong box, which is dedicated to resources anyway. You will be getting upgrade modules and fragments from that. Bronze, silver, gold, cash, DNA, these are all dedicated to certain gear types, or other types of rewards. They will not be a source of fragments because you can also dismantle the gear, so small amounts.
Okay.
Gear and faction vendors is something we'll tie into at the very end of this, but the challenge card rewards, there were some rare resource bundles. Rare resource bundles have been replaced with either a fragment bundle or a module bundle in larger quantities. And then it comes to the exotic resource bundle, which was the one resource I didn't say at the beginning, my bad, Uru. Uru is no longer a resource used for upgrading minor artifacts. The exotic resource bundle in the hero challenge card will now just be polychoron in larger amounts. So with no need for these rare resources, what about the resource conversion on gear vendors? That's going to be the cool thing, because all of the section down below, the specialty offerings, are going to be now gear. And it's going to be specialty gear, kind of like the Wakanda gear vendor as a template, where it had PIM payload,
selling
it
more
had
gear.
Vibranium payload, and it had either a Vibranium or Sonic melee gear piece.
I agree. It was too many at launch, so I'm glad it's simplifying.
And they're all going to have their own
it'll be overall good for the game going forward.
It'll be interesting to see players
I'm happy
go
to
out there
see
and
it,
find
but
some little hidden
we get
gems
it.
and all
Let's
that
see
kind of
Spider-Man,
stuff.
right?
So that is the high level of resource rework, Andy, and we'll be going on to...
I think people can hear me now.
We'll be going on to
Is
Spider-Man.
he alive yet? Maybe.
Yeah. See, I got it.
Excellent. All right,
there we
cool.
go. Andy solved it. Yeah, I definitely would love. Yeah, hear from Andy and to get into the visual that we have, but kind of a good summary, Alex. That was great stuff. Right, we're really making it more accessible for players, right? We're really making it very clear. This is what you use your upgrade modules for, and we're making sure that players have more fragments, because fragments are going to be, very used, and there's more things on the vendors that should be interesting for players to buy. So overall, right, more resources, more accessibility, more streamlined, which should really help improve the flow, not just for new players, but right for existing players as is. And then all those extra resources they had all get converted over to fragments, but they're definitely going to want to have that going forward when you talk about the upgrade system.
Absolutely. And one other thing
let's
on
talk about it.
For the fragments, you are definitely going to want your fragments. The fragment cost to upgrade is going to be something I go into, but
it's going to be a lot.
Specialty offerings, because of their cool nature, are going to be higher costed in the gear vendor. So fragments going up, more fragments in your pool because of the other resources.
Like
streamline
crazy
stuff.
about gear
No
vendors.
randomization
I very
on
rarely buy
what
things
type of
from
resources you
vendors
get.
anyway. I usually
On to
just check them if they
upgrade
have
our
something
new-
insane. I'll buy it, but otherwise,
Oh, yes.
We do.
Very
We have a
rarely
few screenshots.
find
Now people can hear me.
Oh, okay.
something at the vendor
First
that's
of
better.
all,
I mean,
hi
I'm excited
everyone.
to talk about the next topic too. This
I am.
Sure.
I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
if you could, if
Yeah,
you
let
haven't shown
me-
the screenshot yet,
I
that'd
will
be
show
great.
them.
He was in an audio
Spider-Man.
tech support.
No,
land for a little bit
I
there.
was stuck in that land. I will say these screenshots are taken from like older builds, so anything can change. You know, the usual spiel. But they are
Yeah.
still screenshots. Okay, so we're gonna
Let's
talk
see.
about gear, the new gear upgrade section next,
Well,
right?
if you could show the login screen for the resources really quick
Andy's
before we
already
move on to the
passed
gear.
it.
Oh, I did. Actually, I did show that.
Oh,
already.
never mind. Yeah, we're so yes, gear upgrade. So we have a screenshot of the gear upgrade. When you log in, you're going to see this. It's going to kind of give a brief overview of the gear upgrade.
What? Where's
you can
Spider-Man? Oh, that's
Consume
bullshit.
An item in a slot to improve the power level of another item
That is
at a cost
bullshit.
of fragments and modules. There are a couple of restrictions in there. The gear item
Oh, the
can
chat must be
only,
pissed.
in order to improve an item or in order to consume an item to improve another one, it has to at least be epic quality. You can only improve items over power level 100, and depending on the rarity of the item you are consuming, you will either get a decrease to the upgrade cost or an increase. If you are using an epic to improve an exotic, you're going to get taxed a little bit. If you are using exotic to improve an epic, you're going to get a huge discount. So,
Okay.
what is this going to be doing? Actually, let's talk about the UI first. So, as you go in, if you highlight, because we have another image for that one, that's why I remembered about the UI part.
The one with Black Widow, right?
Yes. So when
What's
you go
going
in,
on,
if you
Jameson? How you doing,
highlight,
man?
or if you hover over a piece of gear and you have another gear that's actually that you can improve,
Yo,
you're gonna
Jameson,
see
you
another
missed it.
button
We
prompt.
had Spider-Man on
And when
screen
and when you click on
the
that
dev
button
stream.
prompt,
He
it will
was
show you
there for
all
a second,
gear
and then
that
they
is
took him off.
possible to upgrade or to consume into that gear. It will show you what's going to happen. It's going to show you like how much power level your current gear will go up, and it will also show you what your attributes will be after the fact. So if you can go to the next image, Andy, the next image is an example of consuming a higher quality item, and you can see that there is a significant fragment discount on that. But you
My
can
head's
also see that
blocking
the
the Peter
attributes
reveal.
stay the
Oh
same.
no!
Consuming a higher quality item does
Hopefully
not
they
improve
pull him
the
like
attributes when
the
you're
actual thing.
upgrading.
They're probably not going to even
So-
show him again.
The old system of upgrading 10 times and increasing the power level is gone. There are two really big immediate impacts on that. One, you no longer have to spend whatever random resource
140,
or one of the rare resources that we got rid of
174
to improve
upgrade
it.
modules
Two,
to upgrade something.
All perks will come on gear unlocked. Whether that's one or that's three, you do not need to improve gear. You do not need to upgrade gear
Okay,
to
we
have
don't need
those
to
perks
upgrade gear
unlocked. It
anymore.
will just
Gear
be
just
there,
drops when it
open
drops.
standard.
That's good.
You don't have to worry about that anymore. And then so that falls into the other part of we want players to actually find good gear and not have to worry about
What's
going
up, Ron
back to that place
Kenshin?
and
Yeah, he
re-rolling
is
it
coming
over and over
November
again.
30th, but
If you
they
have
just
that good
they showed
gear,
him in
You
game
can take it with you. You
10
can upgrade
minutes
it, you
ago,
can
and then they
move
clicked
on
off it really quick.
to other higher power level items.
They showed his UI, start his character
So-
screen.
This all ties into our power level increase. Oh, before I get into power level increase, I'm sorry, there is another thing on my notes. Old gear. What happens to all of your old gear once this rolls around and you no longer have the upgrade system? If you have power level 130 gear in your bank or on your person, you will lose the upgrade, the little plus 10 bar, that's going to be gone. All perks will be unlocked. If you've upgraded that gear from 130 to 140 and it says plus 10, the plus 10 bar will go away. It will retain its 140. All of the perks will be unlocked. Whatever your gear is at the time of patch, that's what the gear will be after the fact. All perks will be unlocked. There you go. So if you want to upgrade any of your old gear before that gets up, if you want to kind of push it up, that's fine. It's a fine way to spend your resources, especially if you're maxed out.
So
you're going to get a
you're
lot of
gonna.
that back.
Yeah.
So Jason,
There's
you
a lot
gotta
of
you gotta
wins with
take
this change, right,
higher
Alex?
power
I mean,
gear
first
with
of all,
like
it's
bad
gonna make
rolls.
the
If you get
gear
something
that
that's a
players
high
get when
roll
it drops
or high
way
power
more
level, but it's a bad
enjoyable,
roll,
accessible
you
right
can
away. It's
smash
gonna
it
have the
into
perks
something
ready to
that's a
rock
good
and
roll and
right?
bring
So,
that to the higher level.
Players are going to be able to enjoy that on gear when it lands. I think the bigger thing, right, as you mentioned, a big win and a focus for us was making sure with the upcoming power level increase, that players can take the gear with them, right? They worked really hard. They've gotten a bunch of this really, great,
Like
whether you were
Tachyon
playing
Surge
Mega
gear,
Hives or something else, this great content, and we want to make
Tachyon
sure that the
Surge,
system,
or just
as you
Tachyon
progress
riffs,
in your
or
power level
just
with this
working
more
really hard
challenging
to get that
content,
gear.
you're able to take all that gear with you that you worked so hard to obtain. So that was another big win too. But I think, right, one point of clarity when we say we're not using the old system anymore, we still have, right, upgrading major artifacts, right? So that's still going from 1 to 10. So that's still more or less using the same pattern as before. That's not changing major artifacts.
So
but all the
then gear goes to
right,
165 plus 10
That is
from
correct.
the artifact would be
The
175.
major artifact will still be its existing system. It will still give you +1 to +10 power level on
so
top
then gear
of what
goes
the
to
average of your
165.
gear
So
collection
if you have
is.
150s now,
That
or
system will
140s,
now
they
use
only go to
polychron
165.
and fragments. Upgrading gear will use fragments and modules. That also includes minor artifacts. Minor artifacts will no longer use Uru. So yes, gear, when you get it, is immediately usable. Gear, if you like it, will now be able to improve to higher power levels, so you don't just throw it away. We want you to find gear that you like and take it with you to make that part of your collection. We don't want it to just be throwaway.
Yeah, players are going to have different play styles. You're going to have different, attributes and loadouts and things you like from the different gear sets. We want to make sure that you have a collection of them and that you can easily, right, keep them and use them with you and create multiple builds, multiple ways to play the characters.
Absolutely.
Question from Leafy. So can you upgrade any gear to any power level? I think some more clarification.
There are some restrictions. Alex, you want to talk about those?
Yes. To reiterate the restrictions again, so I can put it in kind of a bullet point list, is the gear that you're consuming or you're upgrading has to at least be epic quality. That's minor artifacts and your 4 primary gear slots. The gear, in order to improve or upgrade or use the gear to upgrade, it has to at least be power level 100. So those are the two major restrictions right there.
They see that.
Yeah.
Getting a rare ISO, a power level 12, you're not gonna upgrade that.
Yeah, got it.
And
Can't upgrade
Lord
your
Nervius
rears
asks,
that.
So can you still upgrade? You can still upgrade an item's power level then.
You can still upgrade an item's power level. You just have to consume a higher power level item to do that in this right now. So instead of doing
This is very similar to
everything is
Destiny's
encapsulated,
current
a
infusion
piece of gear
system.
can only go up
So
10.
I'm not.
A piece
like,
of gear has
I'm glad they're doing this,
power
but
level
like
increase.
once
Whenever
this
we
launches,
increase the
it's
power
very
cap,
straightforward.
All gear can eventually reach that
I don't
point,
think
as
people
long
are
as it
going to get
follows-
confused. They're
falls
asking
under the two
questions now, but I
restrictions
think it'll be
Let's
very
give an
easy.
example. Let's say I
when it
have
does
a
happen.
piece of epic gear, and it is power level 110 for the sake of conversation. And I really like this gear. It has awesome perks on it. It's useful. I want to use it for my character I'm focused on right now, my hero. But now I've played the game and I've progressed to power level 140 with my other gear. I don't want to leave this gear behind. In the old system, it could only get up to 120. In the new system,
If anyone
I
played
can go get a
Destiny,
piece of power level 140 gear.
that's what
150
you
gear,
need to know.
160 gear, and I can use that gear in the new system that the team made to upgrade.
have a lot of
that
work to
one-
max out all
that
characters.
power level 110
Maybe.
gear
I mean,
with
it
the
depends, right? I
associated
think you just
scaling
need to get
costs,
drops
right, of upgrade modules
for,
fragments.
and I think
So
it's only
that's
they're only
an
going to come from the
example of
raid, so you're
before
going to
you
have
could
to
only
be
raise
grinding
it
the raid.
10 levels from what it dropped as. Now, as long as it meets the requirements Alex talked about, you can take it up all the way, which is really exciting.
And you actually brought up one thing I really want to touch on and expand a little bit there, Mike, which was the scaling costs. When you upgrade gear, you pay the upgrade costs. The upgrade cost is not going to be a flat cost. It's not going to be like 100 fragments, 1 upgrade module. You basically pay per power level you are improving gear. So if you are improving gear from 100 to 101, and it's the same quality,
Sadat was
it will
right.
be 100 fragments, 10 upgrade modules.
This is going to cost a lot.
If you are
This is going to
improving
cost
gear
a
from
lot
100 to 102
of fragments.
and it is the same quality, it's going to be 200 fragments, 20 upgrade modules. But that cost per power level starts to change
Sadat was right.
as we get into power level 120, power level 130, power level 140.
They're gonna pinch us on fragments,
and then, of course,
and then you're gonna have to get the you're gonna have to use the
higher
fragment
or lower
extractor
quality item to infuse into the other
things.
gear. So you're going to see an associated cost with that power level you increase. So I have 130. I want to upgrade this power level 110 epic item that you brought an example, Mike.
Yep.
I'm going to be paying 10 power level of cost to upgrade that item.
Yep. So, and we'll definitely dive into that more
Yo,
later. There's still
Simon,
more things
bro,
to cover,
they
but
showed him for a
remember
second,
Alex
Simon.
said before, we're
They
making
showed him
sure
for like
we
a split
increase the cap
second,
on,
and then they
how
clicked
many
away.
fragments you can have. We're making sure to give you lots of fragments. We're dropping more fragments as you play the game in so many different places. We're making sure you're going to have the resources you need to, use the upgrade system, right?
Absolutely. We're going to make sure that everywhere has a known source of fragments. And again, comes back to the whole point. All missions will have fragments as a mission reward, with longer missions or more difficult missions having a higher amount.
So it sounds like you're going to get fragments nonstop.
Right. So
Every
for the
enemy
next
you
topic,
kill,
Alex?
every mission you
power
complete
cap increase, which
Let's
will
do
tie
it.
is all going to be
tie right into everything
all
like
fragments
that. So
all over the place.
obviously,
so we'll see how that goes.
we are increasing the power level cap. The current cap right now is all gear can reach 140 as long as you upgrade it. That is going to be our new soft cap. That is going to be our new minimum. All gear will eventually get you to 140. Our first milestone after 140 is power level 150. The gear getting to 150 can only be achieved by completing the mission chains for Family Reunion and the Claw Raid. So
Family
those mission
Reunion?
chains will give you rewards as above if you are power level
Lol.
150. All of your
Yo,
gear is power
bros,
level
imagine
140.
grinding
These mission
super
chains will give you
adaptoid
gear
for
above
endgame
that
gear right
that
now.
you can use to infuse
Bro,
into
I
other
can't.
gear, or it will help take you to the other take you
Okay.
up higher.
Good.
That
Hey,
is-
kind of
the
those
super
power levels
adaptoid
are
is no
major
longer
artifact.
useless.
That's why
Super
Alex
adaptoid
is
is no longer
explaining the power
useless. You
level.
can grind it
It's
for
there's
upgrade
a plus
fodder.
10, there's a plus 1 to plus
Because
10
you know you're not
off
using
on the
any of
side
that
from the
gear.
major artifact. I am talking just about
Just
the
the
gear's
gear.
power level. Yes. The current power level right now is 140. We're going to 165.
And you could do it on,
So from
once a
140
week
to
on each
150,
character. So you could do
you're going to want to
both.
play
You could
the
do 2
Omega level
per
threat
character
Family
per
Reunion
week.
and Claw, Discord, and Gear. Once you get to 150, in order to get from 150 to 165, you have to play the Elite Claw raid. And the power increase is going to come from that mission chain by itself. But we don't want you to stop doing the other ones either. So the big change on power level increase across these 3 missions: Omega level Family Reunion, Discordant Raid, the Discordant Sound Raid, the Elite Discordant Sound Raid, is these missions. The mission reward will Family Reunion is going to change. The mission reward from all of these 3 missions will be its associated gear dropping, matching your power level. So the ISO 8
But
from the Family Reunion is gone. It is now going to drop Omega gear, random, every time.
every time.
Every time.
Every completion of Omega Level Threat Family Reunion will drop
Omega gear.
Omega
Yes.
Gear.
Okay, so you get a useless piece
Absolutely.
of gear every time.
It will drop, matching your power level to the slot it's associated. I've powered up. I'm like 152 or something. I play the Omega level threat, and I get rare, and I get a melee gear. The melee gear will match the highest power level I have achieved pushing forward. So I can use it as I can go back to
So you
Family
fill
Reunion
out-
and get
you
an
fill
alternate
out-
rolls, or I can use it to infuse and upgrade my older gear.
So you use it to
becomes
fill
a
out your
source
power. So if you get
of- I
something
don't have to
that's like
waste the gear from
155
the weekly
on one piece of
mission
your
chain
gear,
to
you
improve
go back
older
and
gear.
get
I can
155 on the
replay
rest
Family
because
Reunion.
it'll
I can
fill
replay
out
Claw.
the
I
older
can replay the
slots.
Claw Elite as infusion material for my older gear.
Right. So the big difference is on the weekly mission chain, you can advance your power level by getting gear that will increase in power level. But in addition to that, you're saying, Alex, that players can grind the mission if they want, and they can
Absolutely.
grind it.
Wow, he
earn
is
not
saying that.
more powerful gear. They have to wait to the next week for more powerful
What
gear.
are with
but
these guys
they
like
can
question each
earn
other?
gear
Like,
from that
so
mission
what
to
you're
either
saying is
look for
that
different
there's
roles
been
that they're
changed?
specifically looking
Like,
for,
yes, I
or
am.
again, this is giving them more gear that they could use with the upgrade system for their other sets.
Absolutely. We want to
So,
give you a way to improve
that's-
your other
that's
sets quickly
fine.
without wasting
My opinion on
your
that, that's
power
fine.
level increase you're getting from mission
The-
chain. And again,
The Omega
we wanna
gear
give you
is still
more
awful and useless,
roles.
but
We want to
you
give
can
you more
get
chances to
more
find the role that
fodder.
you really want on that gear. The Omega level set,
Sucks.
we wanted you to first of all, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Oh,
but
we'll
here's
get
a
into it.
teaser.
Okay, let's get into it.
Hulk is getting his cryo perks on Omega level gear, and we want you to be able to have
Oh,
more
thank God.
chances at getting Hulk's cryo gear. The Discordant set has twice as many perks as the Omega level set. So if we told you, oh, you're going to have to play that twice as much to get all of the roles or to find the roles you want, nah, that's too much. You can go in, you can play it again, you can get additional roles on it.
Right, that's
Chat is
exciting.
going crazy over that news, by the way.
So you can just keep
I'm
keep
glad,
grinding.
I'm glad.
Oh, we still got more news, right, Alex?
Right.
Oh yeah, we have
Okay.
we haven't even touched gear. This is just the baseline. It's like, hey, missions, fragments, power level increase. All right,
What's
that's what we
next?
talked about.
Sounds good.
All right, so on to gear updates. Let's start off with the more subtly interesting stuff. So there are 4 families of hero gear out there. We'll go into details on those later. But the one I want to bring up is the epic quality hero gear set that you can get from threat sectors and villain sectors. With Black
Okay.
Panther and Hawkeye to an extent, you could get dual status perks on their melee and range gear.
Sure can.
We have now made that the de facto standard, that all other heroes have a chance of getting dual status on their epic hero set gear from these areas. They have
What?
a unique name, they only come in epic quality, they have their associated attributes, and they'll have fixed perks. So with Black Panther, I believe it was Plasma and Shock, and I think with Hulk it's like Gamma and Cosmic or something like that. So
Yeah,
Shut the
that'll be
fuck up.
something like that. It'll be really interesting to go for. Number 2,
That's insane.
hero gear that roll 2 stats is going to get a bump in their minimum stats that they can achieve. So with the
Okay.
loss, not the loss, with the removal of the complication of the +10 upgrade system,
Yeah.
we want the stats to be. We want the gear that rolls 2 attributes to be viable in comparison. Those attributes, when you upgraded them +10, had a much bigger application. You could push those numbers up higher.
Yeah.
We're removing that, so the ceiling and the floor for 2 attribute hero gear is being pushed up anywhere between 10 to 20%.
Okay, that's
But
a
this
big
is on
jump.
the higher end. You're going to
That's a
really
big
see
jump.
that when we get into the power level 20 and 30 area. And then when we talk about hero gear, there's a lot of hero gear talks going on. Black Panther, when we made the
Sucks.
hero gear for Black Panther, we were able to set a bar. We were able to set themes to match what Hawkeye and Kate did, and that helped. And Black Panther helped us establish those themes for each of the families, each of the 4 families that I talked about. And we're working on bringing all of the heroes to that standard. And with that,
Not
and
following
with the
that.
next patch coming out, we are going to be making more perk edits and updates to those families for the other heroes, so we can get closer to that bar that Black Panther set.
Now it's exciting. It's just, again, the team is always
I don't know
looking
if
for
I
opportunities and how we
really
can make
understand what that
not
meant.
just the new content better, but how we can make it for all the heroes, right? How do we raise the quality bar? How do we give players more of what they want? How do we move the needle forward? And this is just one of the ways in which
Oh, Phoenix Fandom, what's going on, man?
things are progressing.
Welcome. We got a celebrity
Absolutely.
in the chat. How you
and
doing,
so
brother?
before I get into a couple of the details, and all of these are going to be in the patch notes, and we will definitely hit some of the more interesting changes. That comes back to the other point of, with Black Panther making a theme, so on the war
I
table,
don't know if I
it
agree
always
that Black
says hero
Panther
set
was
gear.
like a very
And we're
themed
working
hero.
to making sure
Like
that
Kate
is
and
not
Hawkeye
the only
were.
set of words that you see. We're working to make a title, a theme per family
What does that
that
mean?
will be
What does that
easily
mean?
identifiable, that you know that the Storm Ranger set comes from this, and the Satorian set comes from this, and then the Operative
Okay.
set comes from this. And we're
Well, they
working on
already
making
fixed a
sure
few
that
of the
those
exotics,
themes
and they
match
totally pooched
that
them.
title.
So
And
we'll see
with
how
these
that goes. I
updates, we're
guess.
getting much closer to nailing down that. So it's a big push of reward clarity on the war table across the board, and to allow players
They are, Jason. They're
a
talking
better
about
understanding
every
without having
character is
go
going to be
to
able
a
to get
spreadsheet on the
dual
internet, which are well
dual
done, by the
element
way. I've seen those spreadsheets.
gear.
They're aces. They're almost as good as mine. So with that out there, a couple of the really interesting points. Again, we want the hero gear to be unique, hero specific, and thematic. But to that point, we are removing generic perks because those belong on other sets or other gear. So Jarvis perks being removed from hero gear, yes, Jarvis is powerful. It belongs on Hive Mind. Hive Mind gear and Jarvis gear are where Jarvis barrier belongs.
Fuck Hive Mind
so
gear.
it being on hero gear, it made
Jarvis gear
made
doesn't go on
both
Hive
sets
Mind gear.
weaker. And by changing that,
It
we
went
made
on
both
Jarvis
sets stronger.
gear.
Hive Mind has
It would
its
be
own
on random roll
individuality,
legendaries that
and
happen to
Heroes
have
of Gear has
Jarvis
its own
barrier on
individuality.
it. You get that from
So
the 14th
with Miss
floor.
Marvel,
I don't know where
her
you get it
Storm
from
Ranger
the
set
Hive Mind
is seeing
gear.
the biggest addition. Her Storm Ranger's regalia and Storm Ranger adornments is removing Jarvis and replacing it with Embiggen Impulse, increasing stun damage while embiggened, allowing you to do takedowns more often.
That perk won't
Her
work.
Marvis regalia is
That perk will
removing the
be
generic
bugged.
regen perk for Valorous Spirit. Had a conversation about this. It's like, is that really a good change? Yes. You lose a little bit of heroic regen, and what you gain is you or any ally affected by Team Spirit gets their crit damage increased. The other two perks on Marvis
That's already the
regalia
best exotic.
increase crit chance and increase damage overall.
That's already
for
the best exotic. They're
allies
making it
affected by
worse.
Team Spirit.
They're
Pushing
making it
that
better.
The
Excuse me.
Marvelous set is your support build. It is your.
This
Miss
is a
Marvel,
good.
I am going to make everybody.
I'm not going to break down
hit
every
like a
single
truck
perk that he's
build.
talking about right now, but it's good that they're
Storm
making
Ranger
the
coat of
named
arms and
sets
Storm Ranger's crest are
very
going to replace their
like
generic regen
themed
perk for support
versus
and power,
just
and
random
giving you
roll gear.
a moderate chance to get an intrinsic burst.
If only we could get
using
set
Team Spirit.
bonuses.
So use your heroic
It
support.
seems like we're close to that.
chance
though.
of getting chance of getting your heroic energy back. And Storm Ranger body armor gets a further update to replace the other perks with Embiggen Blessing, increased crit chance while embiggened, and Polymorphic
good.
Reserve, increasing her max polymorph energy limit.
It's fine.
Let's move on to Captain America.
I just want to
Real
hear
quick,
these.
Alex, everyone is
yes.
loving this. Can we keep Alex? We stan. Alex needs to come back. We love Alex. Just wanted to throw that out there for you.
Great. Now I'm nervous.
You're doing awesome, Alex.
All right. Captain America. Helm
You
of the
got
Super.
more, guys. You
Oh,
got
absolutely.
more. We're
It's
not done.
it's a big page.
I want to hear this.
Helm of the Super Soldier, Safeguard of the Super Soldier, replacing generic regen perk for Brooklyn Blar Quake, increasing stun damage while Brooklyn Blar is active. So, if any of you were actually stuck on the
Okay.
Wasteland Patrol needing to do takedowns in
Not the worst,
the
but not the
Wasteland,
best.
I suggest this gear.
You don't need
Brooklyn
stun damage
Brawler,
on Cap because
and
you get
the
the
skill that allows you to do
Brooklyn Brawler
takedowns while Brooklyn
takedowns
Brawler at low health,
on
even if you
low
don't
health,
increase the
not
stun damage. This
stun.
is just going to allow you to do it way faster.
So it's a redundant
Rampart of the
thing.
Nomad, replacing the third perk. It was another regen perk with Eagle's Cry, increasing Rally Cry's duration.
That was already
More
a perk.
mechanical additions to help start making those themes. Hey, the Super Soldier
That was a
theme
perk on
is
something else.
really dead set on making you do more with Brooklyn Brawler and stuff. And Rampart of the Nomad is trying to help you keep your defenses up with Rally Cry. Stabilizer of the Super Soldier and Conduit of the Super Soldier are replacing Defender's Charge and Captain Combo. Those are just getting moved to a different set. We're not actually taking those out. Those are good perks. But they're better situated on something else. With Powered Precision, increasing ranged power crit chance, and Rally Cry Boom, increasing your crit chance while Rally Cry is active.
Okay.
Iron Man, Superior Mark
Here we go.
Mark 15 Bastion, replacing Jarvis for obvious reasons. With Skygar's Reprieve, granting intrinsic energy when picking up health packs. And we are replacing the health regen while overcharged. That's more of a generic perk. We're going to move that to the RNG pool with Restoration Beam, which enemies defeated with your Unibeam drop regen packs.
Hey, those two work pretty well
Kind
together.
of ties together on that one.
Question before
yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. Are these
Yo, I am currently playing Guardians. Actually, I'm
existing
playing it
gear
with my
gonna-
girlfriend. I'm not streaming
That's-
it or covering
okay,
it in
that's
any
a
way.
great
I'm
question.
just playing it at our own
All of
pace,
these
and we're
perks,
loving it. It's really good. I'm
unfortunately,
not far.
are
I'm
not
only on like
retroactive.
chapter 4 or something.
These perks, the way that your perks have rolled right now,
Hive Mind
are
includes
how
Jarvis
they
Barrier.
are.
That's true.
And
It did.
that is not a
I usually
that is
just
not
delete them.
always negative thing. That when once I get to the perk alterations thing at the bottom of this, that is actually going to benefit many of you that still have a reactive buff.
But it's also, again, in terms of a choice too, while some players would absolutely want these changes right away. Other players, again, worked very hard to earn this gear and are playing a specific way with a specific build. We don't necessarily want to take something away from them that they worked very hard to earn.
Oh, like
Yes.
Tachyon, Sarge.
It is a choice of do we force it all on players and everybody plays the same, or do we allow players the opportunity to go get a new one? And that latter one is a much stronger option. We don't want to force you. Right. It's like, oh, all of this gear that you have, we're just going to completely change it. It's going to retain what it is right now. But that option is out there if you want to go get the new one. Some players may want the old one, like with Marvelous Regalia.
That's good. So all your legacy gear is going to stay the way it is. So you're going to have to regrind a lot of this gear then for the new perks of it,
which not going to be changed. It's totally there.
Isn't lovely, but it is what it is.
Well, if that's what you want to go after, which I think a lot of people will too, because these changes are really fantastic.
Awesome, and thank you.
Yeah, and the community is they say that's the right way to go, to not have it retroactive. So perfect.
Yeah. Give the players the choice.
I agree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really quick, one more on Iron Man before I go on to Thor is Centurion's Mark 15 RT node and Centurion's Mark 13 Muon Ray.
Ooh.
I replaced the missile rate of fire increase because it didn't stack with other rate of fire increase perks. We'll get to that.
Oh no.
Later, we're going to fix that. It frustrated me the most. But we are going to replace it with Overcharge Breaker, which further increases damage while Overcharge is active.
That's good. That's good.
Thor, Armor of Asgard Scion. Replace Jarvis and Evade Distance. That's Hive Mind gear.
That sucks.
With Odin Force Recovery, which increases health regen drastically while you have Odin Force active. And Warrior's Fury Impulse, increasing all stun damage while Warrior's Fury is active. Cincture of the Asgard Scion and Girdle of the Thunderer, these two are tied together. So Cincture of the Asgard Scion replace Jarvis. Oh no, it's the other two.
Do not replace Jarvis.
Rewind that. Cincture of the Asgard Scion replace Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Azure's Blitz, increasing unarmed damage by 30%.
I'll be keeping mine with the Jarvis barrier. Thank you very much.
Regen perk. Because it wasn't activating on all attacks. We're going to be fixing that later. With Odin's Flight, which increases Odin Force regen while flying. Hilt of the Asgard Scion, this is the one that was tied to it. We're removing Odin's Flight because it's getting moved to the other gear, and we're replacing it with Ettri's Breaker, which increases all hammer damage when used as a melee weapon. So obviously Girdle of the Thunderer and Hilt of the Asgard Scion are supposed to be synergies there. I forgot how to actually structure that sentence.
That's okay. I'm sure
they're supposed to be used together.
Copious notes for the pop quiz we're going to have at the end of
We're going to have a pop, exactly. Just for everyone's knowledge, this is going to be in written form eventually.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk about all the fun. I want to talk about all the fun stuff first.
And just to talk a little bit more about that point, Alex, because I know there's some discussion about melee maybe not being as strong as range, but some of these perks do address.
Oh, who put out that video 6 months ago?
A little bit.
This is step 2.
Yeah,
like we made some steps before. This is step 2. Melee being stronger as a viable option for every hero is one of the top 3 bullet points for all of the perk changes, for all of the gear updates, especially when we get into Discordant gear and all that later. Not for this not for this or stream or whatever.
Yeah.
But melee being a stronger option for all heroes is a primary pillar going forward for new perk creation as well as perk edits.
That's good to hear.
We want melee to be good. We want melee to be viable, and it's not just about melee damage. It's about armor. It's about hit react.
It's about everything.
Armor.
It's about everything.
All of those things. It's
melee is a higher
making sure
risk.
that status effects don't just cover your combo enders. Making sure that status effects don't just.
That was
cover
my
these
suggestion.
Attacks. Making sure you have more options to make melee viable. I want Hulk. I want Captain America. I want Thor to go in and actually punch enemies.
If elemental damage didn't only apply to combo finishers,
because
melee would be 95% fixed.
I want that option to be viable.
That would be
I want there to be
that would be an unbelievable fix to melee.
You can play the way you want. You can see all the hard work Alex and the team have been moving in this direction, improving these things, and very much, the community's feedback is always helpful in helping guide us and making sure that we're focusing on the things that we need to focus on, right? And a lot of this hard work that the team has been doing, it's really awesome to finally be able to talk about some of this.
Awesome. And so 2 more bullet points, and then we'll go on to a couple of the more blanket perk edits.
Yes.
So with Black Widow, Natalia's Cloak and Natalia's Embrace replace the Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Stealth Amplifier, increasing status buildup while invisible.
That's
and
good.
then with Red Room Grasp,
Good.
we replace Jarvis, Hive Mind, with Infiltrator's Vengeance. Love this perk, which gives you a blanket chance to generate intrinsic orbs upon defeating enemies. I think it's somewhere around 12 to 15%. Any enemy defeated
Intrinsic
has a chance to
sucks
drop
on
an
Black
intrinsic
Widow,
orb.
so unfortunately that's not fantastic. But
I'm having a lot of fun with that one, especially with my constant invisibility build. So
yeah, not super relevant for a constant
onto
invisible build because you
blanket,
should be up on intrinsic regardless. But however,
this is moving again towards the we want to make sure that there's a balance. We actually want to make sure there is a choice between options, because a lot of things feel like this is just far exceeding other options over other things. So first, status effects. All status effects are going to be covered for all heroes.
no, I know, Penny.
So,
But it's very rare.
while
Like
I would love to
Thor,
take credit for that,
Black Panther,
our,
not
combat
everyone
team
can utilize heavy
very
power
hard
or
with
signatures
me
very
to
regularly.
make sure that all status effects for all attack types are covered for all heroes. So, Omega Gear, Hulks are going to get cryo on their Omega Gear. Those are going to be
What does that
options.
mean?
They're-
What does that mean?
Now,
I've
of
only
those
ever
stat
seen
effects are
Cosmic
not
on
going to be in
Omega
the normal
Gear.
RNG pools. We haven't really touched that. So Hulk is not going to get cryo just randomly out in the wild, but he is going to get cryo from Omega and Hive Mind. Hive Mind's whole theme being it has the basic 6 status effects for all heroes. Now you're going to have that. Iron Man's going to get his shock ranged. Kamala's going to get her plasma
Shock lasers,
everything,
that'll be
I
pretty
think,
cool.
or something. I can't remember if it was a range or melee.
You don't want
Yeah,
that though.
Captain
You don't want
America,
that on
same
Iron Man.
thing.
But it's cool that they're
Hulk,
putting
Thor's gonna get his
it
plasma.
on
All
everybody.
heroes, all status effects.
People
It's
love
cool
that.
that it's just going
Yeah.
across the board.
Some of the
I don't know
specialty
how I'm going to
gear
use
you
that
can
all.
find
Probably
in
not
gear
too much,
vendors
but
also
we'll see.
are covering that. I believe there's shock status effect always available somewhere. Can't remember where I put it. It's like
That's okay. We got to save something for next
yeah,
time.
and you know
Alex.
what, Ellie, yeah, and even if I did remember it, maybe I wouldn't say. On to so again, we are taking this is feedback coming in, not just feedback from the community, but also feedback from the players here. Like me as a player, I'm very frustrated when I can't get these status effects because of X, because of Y, and players mirrored that sentiment. So this is directly coming in.
That big win.
Players wanted this. There you go.
It's cool. I
still
like
have
the
to wait
change.
For the update.
Yeah, there was
Okay,
a question like
that's-
when this is all coming in. That everything you're talking, or most of the specific stuff you're talking about, is coming in the 30th, right?
Correct. This is all coming in
Nice.
the update in the future.
Very cool.
All right.
Not that far though. We're getting close. We're
Not
getting
that far.
closer.
Yeah, time is a human construct and just happens. So there. On that note, we also did a couple of perk edits to address trigger condition. So we have a bunch of trigger conditions of like defeat enemy, parry attack, dodge attack, take damage, and we have adjusted some of those perk values based on feedback and internal testing on the difficulty.
So
of
remove
some of
the
those
bad
triggers.
ones.
So reactive, taking damage,
Best one.
is a passive, absolutely non-player agency type of thing. You get
Perfect.
hit, you
That's
get
what
punched,
you
you
want.
get shot. Its base chance of actually happening on perks that ever say when take damage is being lowered to the worst base chance. Now, and that's why I bring up damage, the reactive buff that people were bringing up before. That doesn't touch gear that you have.
Oh,
right
perfect.
now.
I'll be
If you
using all the gear I
upgrade
have because
gear,
I have that on
will.
everything.
You will get the new value.
How many
if you
times do
upgrade gear.
I recommend
It's not being
reactive
lowered by
buff
10%,
on
it's
literally
being
every
lowered
piece of
by
gear?
5% base chance. It's still affected by proficiency. Yeah, that's the attribute that does it. Whatever affects perk chance, it is still affected by that. It's being lowered down. Now, what
Ask
about
about
the
them
other
fixing
trigger
Vibranium. I
conditions?
thought you said
Parry,
they
block,
fixed it.
those
I
are
haven't
getting
tested it
updated
yet.
like
I'll
1 to
test it this
2%.
stream.
But the 2 top chances is teammate revival will be number 1.
Okay. No one
Anything
uses
of
that.
being revived or reviving a teammate is going to be up there at a base chance of 55%, scaling up based on quality of gear and proficiency.
Most unusable
It will have the
perk
highest
in the
chance
game.
of
I'll still delete
actually
them
triggering
all
any
the
perk
time.
with that. With right below that being status kill. or status defeat. Defeat enemy under status condition X, Y, whatever,
Okay, hang
and you
on.
get this benefit. So if you still want damage buff, easy access.
That's easy.
Find defeat
that can
enemy
come
under
on
X status effect to get damage buff.
chest
Because
pieces?
it is going to have the second highest base perk.
We have to
chance
see
of
where these
actually
all come,
happening.
because I don't think that can come on too many
With
too many
kill,
chest
or,
pieces.
with defeat being relatively low, with
Maybe the
parry,
Vibranium ones.
block, and there was one more in the middle. I think those were the critical hits. All the critical hits are kind of hovering somewhere in the middle, with faultless buff being, I think, 1% behind the melee and ranged one. And attributes. So obviously,
I'm just
attributes
waiting
are
for
being
Tony Bing
pushed
to
up,
do
and there was the
total
edits to
breakdown
attributes
of all
going
of
up.
the
With
things.
power level increase.
He's the numbers guy in the
their
community for
attributes
sure.
are definitely scaling up. With less attributes actually scaling up on minor artifacts, with some minor artifacts seeing a plateau of some time. So more of your attributes are going to be pushed onto your gear. Those are going to be the largest attribute pushes in there, and I'm going to be really interesting to see how Thor, I don't know, break 30k. What was the limit that we saw? I don't know. They're gonna have like 30k heroic rating.
Oh
or
God, we got
something.
Nate. We got Nate Ace in the chat.
I'm
Nate,
just
what
like,
was your high
I don't know.
on
I'll
Thor's
see
heroic?
100k Thor heroic rating.
We
out
got
there.
him in the chat right
We'll find
now.
out.
The high score.
So I think I covered everything. I mean, again, I don't want to do all the bullet points.
It's okay.
It's-
That leaves
it's a-
time for some Q&A,
yeah.
right?
It's a word salad, so please look forward to that. And again, I am only discussing right now the perk edits. I'm not talking about the perk fixes. That'll be in the patch notes. That's a big
Tony will
list
do the
too.
work.
Awesome.
Papa Tony
much
bless.
exciting
Right.
stuff coming
Papa
down the
bless.
A lot of people are really excited. And if you guys have any like questions about all this, please let us know right now. I will. Is that like all the things you wanted to talk about, Alex? Because I just have.
I don't know. There's all the things he wants to talk about. I think
No,
that's
I can talk. I can talk about more. What are you talking about?
We gotta save something for next time.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'll talk about more.
I will say. So I'm seeing a ton of where's Spider-Man, where's Spider-Man, where's Spider-Man. Next week's stream,
Boo!
we are going to be showing Spider-Man and some of his outfits.
Ooh.
So tune in next week
Oh,
at
come
2 p.m.
on.
We're going to be showing some of Spider-Man's outfits. We are going to be talking about the Claw Raid. Alex will be back to talk about the Claw Raid and the Claw Raid gear and the rewards there. Phil will also be back to talk about the Claw Raid. I know a lot of you guys miss Phil. Phil's in chat. Hi, Phil, by the way. Hi. So next week's going to be pretty meaty in terms of stuff that we're going to talk about. I hope we can fit it all in 1 hour. If we can't, then we're just going to go over an hour, and that's okay.
There you go.
So tune in next week for Spider-Man outfits and
Come
for
on,
Claw
not
Raid stuff.
one thing of
We-
Spider-Man. They showed
And I'm
him.
going to say this tomorrow, too. We're not going to play through the Claw Raid Discordant sound for you guys. That is for you guys to play on your own. We're not going to spoil anything. Puzzles are for you guys to figure
That's
out.
fair. I appreciate
But we
that.
will talk about high-level vision, show some concept art. and then talk about
63K
rewards.
heroic?
Alex will talk about
Jesus.
rewards that he can't wait to talk about, right?
They're exciting.
I've been taking pictures.
I'm hoping that the
I
gear
wanna
is
just
sweet.
talk about things.
Awesome. Anything else that you wanted to say, Alex or Mike? What day next week? It's Friday next week,
Oh,
so
come on.
I don't know what day.
That's the
that is.
question. Come on.
We'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
no, as always, right? It's so exciting to be able to share, all the great work that the team has been doing. I'm really happy, Alex. Right, we were able to get you on here to share. Alex is a big part of all the amazing perk and gear and improvements we've been talking about, and the resource changes. And again, really looking for opportunities.
We can't
to
get
streamline
one
the game, to make it
Spider-Man
more
picture.
accessible, to make
I
it
just
clear
want
to players
pictures of
what they can do,
Spider-Man.
how they can progress, creating more options,
Unbelievable.
right? More agency, so you understand here are the different builds or sets, or what do you want to chase down, or how can you get it. So really can't wait for the next big release and the power level increase and the amazing new content. I think players are really going to have a great time.
Okay. Is that it?
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Thank thanks everybody. I read everybody's feedback. I really do. I genuinely do read everybody's feedback. I'm super happy to read everybody's feedback. There's a lot of really interesting ideas. There's a lot of really interesting like highlights on like what people dislike about gear, what people like about gear. And I read that because I play this game differently than everybody else. And I'm just trying to highlight the fact that we can all be happy the way we play this game. I do want to end with one comment of Dark Thorn is a skill I don't see anybody use on Black Widow whenever I watch videos. And I am very sad.
So,
check it out.
So everyone check out Dark Thorn.
Dark Thorn.
It's that. Alex, what is your Twitter?
I don't have one.
He's on our Discord if you want to talk to him. Talk to him in Discord. Good to see Andy smiling. Oh, thanks.
As always, you could always reach out to Andy, right? He knows how to find us.
Reach out to Andy. That'll get you far.
He chases us down daily basis.
I bug them all the time, and they know.
He's really good at it.
Are they going to
I
nerf
also muted
Thor?
myself a little bit
Not
there, but
to my
I'm back, you
knowledge.
guys. I'm
If
back.
they do, it'll be a surprise to everybody.
Cool. Well, if
but...
there's nothing else, we can just
there's nothing else.
bring it to next week, right?
Sure.
All right. So reminder: next week,
Oh,
Spider-Man
man.
outfits, Claw Raid gear stuff. Hopefully, we can all fit it in 1 hour. Alex will be back.
It's going to be a
Phil
banger.
will be here. You guys are stuck with me again.
Gonna be a
but
banger.
Thank you to everyone for coming by. Our streams are starting again for this update, and we can't wait to show you guys more.
Exciting. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Bye, everyone.
And that is that. Whoops. Bloop. All right. Give me 1 sec, boys. All right. You got some grinding to do to get that new gear. I mean, yeah, I guess we all do. I mean, I'm okay with the fact that it, you know, you have to kind of hit it on the new, you got to get the new gear to get it. I think I'm okay with that. I mean, you know, what else is it going to be, right? All right, so let's see what we can get here. Ooh, Faultless. All right, so here's Faultless. Oh, Sonic, though. You don't want that. I'm going to get this to try it out because I've heard Faultless Vibranium Payload is actually insane. I'll just put it like that. I've heard Vibranium Payload in general is insane. It would be cool to get Faultless Vibranium Payload and then Sonic, maybe. That would be pretty sweet. Yo, what's up, Spaggy? Snapaggy? I apologize if I'm butchering that. Widow is 3k heroic. How on earth does Thor get that high? Thor has intrinsically higher heroic than everybody else. That's why. That's literally the only reason. Otherwise, he's about the same. All right, sweet. So yeah, so we're gonna do some missions here. We're gonna get into it. Very interesting stream. That was definitely exciting stuff. This is a villain sector. I'm gonna try this. Do I need to do a villain sector on anybody? Do I even need to do a villain sector yet? Actually, let me back out of this real quick. I got some farming I gotta do, just random farming shit. I also got a video coming out. I'm not gonna do it right this second, but I do want to show you guys how to farm the most units because you're gonna need them for the other thing. Nope, not the Scandinavian Highlands. Whoop. Nope. You're gonna need units. I think it's called units or credits. Whatever the free ones are for those strong boxes or whatever. you're gonna need those. So I got the way to get those pretty ricky tick. So that'll be sweet. I'll definitely make sure I get that to you guys. Oh, disable. I'm just gonna spend a few of these keys before I do it because I want to try to get a better piece on Thor. I need a good piece on Thor and a good piece on Iron Man to really cap out my my pieces here. This targeted buff is not bad. It's got Valor. The Might is not great. It's got targeted buff, which is what you want, and Expert Spark, which is what you want, but I don't want shock damage. I would like to get Plasma. Honestly, just Plasma would be one of the better ones. But it is what it is. Gotta go cook? Absolutely, man. Do you reckon crossplay is ever going to come to Avengers? I don't think so, man. You can currently quote-unquote crossplay if you have Xbox. You can do, like, if someone has Game Pass for PC and you have Game Pass for Xbox, or even just Xbox, you can play together. So, like, Xbox can play with PC as long as they're on the Xbox version, not the Steam version, which is a little blah if you ask me, but you know, it is what it is. So if you guys don't know, this is my DNA key farm. This is the farm to do if you're looking for just general gear. You'll see I get all sorts of fucking gear. Some of it I use, some of it is garbage. But that's basically it. So you hit that DNA key up, and some of you probably already know this. It works way better on a flyer, but it is doable on anybody. You just hug this wall here until you get to this this building right here. And in this case, we got the ranged option, so you're just gonna hit these 4 things. Bada bing, bada boom. Grab the DNA key chest, grab the gold chest, and then peace out. And you're basically just going to go towards this big tower here. Oh, no. Crap. Didn't know might end up doing that. Annoying as it is. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but right now that's the only thing you can really do, you know? Range power attacks deal cryo. No, that's no good. That's worse than what I got currently. Yo, Chronic, what's going on, man? When did Thor get plasma? Yo, no, he didn't yet. It's coming. Oh, I still got to try out that Vibranium. See if those got fixed. This piece is pretty sweet. I'm not going to keep that. Let's get rid of all of these. It's just like a dismantle game. You just got to dismantle so much junk. You come here, get this door. Boom. You just hit that. Luckily, that was the easy one. Sometimes you got to hit the thing on the side. Then you just power along. There's going to be another building over here. Luckily, we got the nice, easy ranged piece. You just hit that there. Opens up the door. Bada bing. You're in. Another chest over here. Excuse me, sir. Very good. Yo, Guns N' Roses, I do the first 2 DNA key and then reset. Yeah.
There, up ahead.
You can keep collecting the gold box. Yeah, I mean, I just do the whole thing. I don't think it's too much slower to just do the whole thing. And you get this one here, and you get, what is it, 2 more shields mark. That thing sucks. And you get, 2 more, like, silver chests as well to go along with it. All right. I just wanted to do that just so I wasn't throwing away DNA keys, because I got to do the villain sectors now anyway. Shopping Cap 2 at work. Oh yeah, no, they revealed a bunch of shit on the dev stream. It was a lot to even go over. Really interesting stuff. You're going to be able to do the raid and the Omega level threat. You're going to be able to get an increase in gear the first time once per week per character now, and when you replay it, you're going to be able to still get gear again. It's just not going to be higher power, but you can still get like exotics again and things like that. So that's going to be sweet. And then what else? Just like general gear changes overall, they're really making a big turn towards having the named sets have unique perks, which has been always my feedback, is that they got to have more unique perks. I'm gonna go with Iron Man. So that's really exciting. You don't farm the 4 DNA chests. I believe there's only the 3 in that mission. There's only the 3. There's a farm in the desert, but I don't do that one. I know that the snowy one is the better one for me. I just do that exact route that I just do and then go back to orbit and come right back. With the PS5 load times, it's pretty quick regardless.
Avengers. The Resistance has located one of AIM's cloning labs. Scientists
I'm still
Supreme's
rocking.
goal
Oh jeez,
is to
I gotta.
create an
It's
army
just
of
always a
hard-working
dismantle
men.
fest. Look at this.
I'm sure
Oh
you
my
agree
god.
that we can't let that happen. We need to take down whatever
Call the
foe he's
police.
resurrected, or we'll be faced with a daunting problem. Can I count on you to help?
Yo, Ron Kenshin, I'm playing on PlayStation 5, my
Dropping
dude.
you off close to the location.
What do you play on?
AIM is on high alert, so look out for any forces in the area.
You never disappoint. Yo, appreciate that, Chronic. Appreciate you, bro. There's always 4 on all maps. Oh well, if there's a fourth one on the snowy, I don't know. It's definitely, it might be like way out of the way, so it's not worth going and get. Let me just dismantle some more of this junk. Targeted graviton, no. Moan ray, no. Targeted explosion, no. Pinpoint vibranium payload. I'll hold on to that. Reactive empowerment, that's not bad. Wouldn't say it's good though. All right, get rid of all these. Get rid of this. Heroics, let's see. I like to look at my heroics because a good Iron Man like epic or legendary can actually be pretty legit. These ones are not it though.
Elite guard team. You're gonna have to take them out before you can enter the facility.
Oh, it's on the complete other side. Then yeah, if it's on the complete other side, then I'm not interested in grabbing it. I've been really liking this laser build, but I do wanna get back into missiles. Unfortunately, my missile build got scuffed because I was on a what is it? I was on the stupid, what's it called? Tachyon surge, so it got a little screwy Louie on me, but hopefully we're getting it back to the right spot.
Another agent down. Another enemy defeated.
So I really just need, I mean, the lasers work out good. So I really like sonic lasers, and it's a fun way to play Iron Man, but I think as far as like a competitive, I think I do want to also have a missile option to bring into the raid. You didn't buy the Iron Man 2? No, I didn't buy the Iron Man 2 for a couple of reasons. One is because I was not buying anything while the paid consumables were still in the game. So I have not done anything, you know. I have not touched the marketplace since paid consumables have been in. Now that they're out, I will, you know, consider buying things. But I don't like the Mach 2 as much as the Mach, or I don't like the Iron Man 2 one as much as the Iron Man 1 one. I like the one I'm using right now a lot more. And I also have the Endgame one. And I also have, I've got, here's my Iron Man outfits. I've got several really nice ones. I've got the Iron Man, the end game. The Silver Centurion is still one of my favorites. And then I do like this Superior one as well, although I don't use it very much. I have this Prometheum, but I think this one actually sucks. I'm sorry I bought this one, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But between these three, I think these three are the fire ones. The original Silver Centurion, the end game, and then the original. So I like the original right now, but I'm sure I'll switch it up at some point. I don't really like the end game or the Iron Man 2. I feel like it's not that it's like a, you know, not that it's bad in any way. It's just like I feel like it's redundant. Like I would rather save my money for some Spider-Man outfits or things like that, you know. To be real with you.
Excellent work.
But that's all. You play on PS4, bro? Yeah, yo, add me. I'll play with you, my man. Just add me. Trick's Ridiculous, any platform. Also, I do like to always use one of these on stream just because I'm going to stream for at least 2 hours, so I might as well have one of those up. But yeah, bro, hit me up. Trick's Ridiculous. Same name on all platforms. Same exact spelling as my Twitch name. Throw that in, man. And I'm down. I don't know. What's everyone's like favorite Iron Man outfit though? Or I guess what's everyone's favorite outfit in the game? Because do you guys, well, let me ask a different way. Do you guys, across all your characters, I'm just curious, do you guys like to switch your outfits a lot? Or do you like have one favorite outfit for each hero and like that's what you stick with until something new comes out? Or are you guys just like switching regularly? I mean, some people do it both ways, you know? And there's no right or wrong way. I'm not saying that. I'm just curious. So if I could get damage buff, that would be nice. So you see, yeah, this isn't really... The build can get a little funny. Like, lasers are good, but they're a little funny on... trying to get out of this. They're a little funny on Iron Man for, like, single target boss, like, boss DPS, you know? Because realistically, actually, if I get in the air, this could work out better. Oh, I'm suppressed. So from the air actually works out pretty nice. Because you still get... Well, if I don't get fucking suppressed every second, Jesus. What the flip? If I can get that damage buff, though, and then from here... Yeah, that's solid damage from the air, and you get the battery effect as well from that because you're getting that plasma damage. So that works out pretty nice. Spidey will be the new Iron Man. Yo, at least on PlayStation, I think you're going to have two different marketplaces now, right? Because the PlayStation marketplace is going to have Spider-Man stuff, but where's that stuff going to be? What's going to be in that place on the other consoles, you know? I don't know. It's a good question. ASCAP, if I'm playing online, I switch it every floor. Yo, that's pretty good. I like that. All right, let's switch it up to Thor for the other one. Was it on here? Yeah, it was. I mean, I still love my Thor build. I think you guys will see this Thor build is still pretty sweet. It's just if I could get an element on my ranged throw that's not shock, I would be a much happier camper. Because right now, the shock, it doesn't synergize well with Thor's intrinsic shock. So it kind of, it's a little bit of a wasted battery effect. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. If anything, I mean, you could just use it as you could be the setup man on a team for other shock. But even still, I mean, with targeted buff, I have damage buff all the time with this Thor. and I get heroic charge burst
They have the tower locked
very
down.
often as well. So it's
You're
really quite
gonna have to
nice.
take them out before
Can I
you
add you? Of course, bro. Yeah, Trick's ridiculous. Trick's ridiculous. Just send me a friend request. Same exact spelling. Tricks with an X. Ridiculous. Just add me on PlayStation and I'll accept it. Yeah, man, I accept all friend requests. I got no qualms about any of that jazz. Oh, I invisible walled. I got invisible walled right there. Look. Oh no. Yeah, there's your fucking invisible wall right here. Kaboom.
scanning the facilities.
Yeah, I got your invisible wall.
In the meantime, I'm sending you to the lower floors to find a target who has more information.
Excellent. Another agent down.
Easy peas. Do. Here's the question, and I ask this every stream: who's everyone bringing
There's a security
into their first raid?
facility. You know what to do.
There's a
Like,
gentleman here
who are
close
you
by.
guys bringing for the very first raid that you guys do? Who are you bringing into that raid? Who's like who are you most confident on as a character? Yeah, who's everyone's best character? Oh, I didn't have a damage buff for that.
Impressive and
But he's dead anyway.
professional performance. Excellent work.
So you just want to make sure, if you're playing this store build, you just want to make sure you have damage buff up all the time. So it's really not, it doesn't have a lot of range damage, and by that I mean precision. There's not a lot of precision on this build, but what you get is you get guaranteed crits, which with a high Valor chance, you're going to get that crit multiplier. So you're still going to be doing a very respectable amount of ranged damage. And I get heroic charge burst on any ranged kill. So if I just like summon lightning down, kill a bunch of ads, I'm going to keep my heroic charge burst up nonstop. And that's going to get me, of course, back my heroics. And then when you activate your heroics, while you have damage burst up, damage buff up, you're going to be in the money. You know what I'm saying? Probably Hawkeye or Iron Man. They're the only characters I have leveled up. Yeah, I mean, those are both great options, my dude. Both fantastic options. Hard to go wrong with either of them.
Clone on the top floor. Watch out. I think it might be expected.
Let's hit him with this. Hit him with this. There you go. I mean, not the fastest Taskmaster kill. I don't know where he went. You know, I've seen faster Taskmaster kills, but that's a pretty respectable one.
Ooh, a burn and a pun. Screw Fury.
Boy, 40 plus watch you hit that like. Yo, hit the like. Always hit the like, man. Helps a ton. Appreciate it. If you're liking the streams, definitely be sure to subscribe. I just recently started streaming to YouTube. I previously streamed only on Twitch. I think I froze the game. Nope, it's good. I previously streamed on Twitch, but put out content on YouTube. So we're in a spot here where I am definitely more on...
We'll be back in touch.
I'm pretty much done with Twitch as a streaming platform, and all of my content is just going to come on YouTube. So no need to worry about follow me here, follow me there. Just subscribe on YouTube. You'll get, and hit the bell icon, you know. You'll get all of my build videos, all news updates, content updates, different things. You'll stay up to date with everything in this game, and you'll be able to get tuned into the live streams as well. Yo, Hulk, Brian? That's very interesting. How do you play your Hulk? Just out of curiosity, because I know Hulk is a very interesting character. Now, I want to do Captain America, but I want to try to get the item from the priority mission, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of a save cheese here. Stark Realities, that's a fairly easy one. So what we're going to do is we're going to close the game. We're going to upload. I can see raids full of doors. Yeah, I mean raids with door. I mean that's going to be it, right? That's going to be the easy mode. You're going to get the people that are like, I don't know how people think that this raid is hard, and yet it's going to be like, I don't know how people are struggling with this raid when yet all they do, they're going to have 4 times Thor going fucking ham and cheese, and it's like, bruh, come on, give me a break. All right, here we go. So now that we've saved our progress, we're going to do the priority mission with Captain America. If we don't get what we need, we then go back in and reload our save file so that we can try it again. Just see really quick if we got anything good here. Intrinsic burst, nah. Oh, Vibranium payload on melee crit. Okay, let's try that. I'll try that right now. I'll try that piece right now. Good stats too. I think Thor's going to be a pretty mainstay, right? You're definitely going to see a lot of Thors. I think you're going to see a lot of Iron Mans. I mean, I think you will see everybody. But I think as the raid gets fleshed out more, you'll see more people trying different characters. Because I think once you get the mechanics down, I mean, it's the same with raids. I don't know if you guys play like Destiny. Once you get the mechanics down, people are going to be getting in there with different builds, with meme builds, and just doing other things in the raid. You know what I mean? And really not having to worry too much about like about being so completely min-maxed that it's like ridiculous, you know? I think right when the raid comes out, everyone's going to want to bring their A game. But I mean, if you're on a team, everyone knows the mechanics, they know the puzzles, they know the rotations. Like, you're going to be able to come in with different characters, and then go crazy, you know? So we'll see. That's a damn good perk. I am very interested in seeing how it works right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I've heard Vibranium Payload is the best of the payload perks. I haven't, like, personally used it a lot, but I guess we'll see.
An elite aim team is close by.
We will see in this mission exactly at this time what that's going to look like. So yo, Electro, you'll be smashing the raid with Hulk? Nice, dude. I think Hulk can be a fine character. I don't personally play too much Hulk anymore since they nerfed him. Not that he's so bad or anything. It's just like I just physically don't play him as much as other characters. All right, so here's the Vibranium Payloads. Let's see how this is going. So you'll notice purple. It'll be purple little things that get flown out. You do have to crit, so that's gonna... Let's try to get some crits happening. So there it is. That was... Okay, well... That looked like a lot of damage. That could be... This could be pretty good, Vibranium Payload. I want to get the melee piece on him that gives the extra status damage during Brooklyn Brawler because I'm interested in doing a ranged option with Cap. Did that not even hit that? I'm interested in like a ranged Captain America that does a lot of status damage, and I think that would be perfect for the melee piece in that build. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I want to get it just to have it anyway because it's a new piece. Whether or not I use it remains to be seen, but we'll see.
I need more time. Keep the area free of hostiles.
Cap do sonic damage with the commander's call. I don't... let me see. I don't think he does. No, you can do it. Commander's Call is a signature attack, so if you have Sonic on signatures, then it'll work. But if not, then it's just whatever you have Sonic on. Whoa, whoa!
Can't make this easy for you. Come in, this is it.
All right, so we got damage buff. I'm not really seeing any Vibranium Payloads happening. I'll be honest with you. I don't, unless you guys see Vibranium Payloads, I'm not seeing any. You just did it. Do it again. Well, so I also have Vibranium on light combo finisher, so that might be it. It has to be the little thing that comes off of him, right? It's like a little. It's the payload. It's the little missile that shoots out.
That did it. Nice work.
Let me try it again. Should I use my resources like nanites, etc. on some gear I want to upgrade? I have them all maxed out. I mean, use them on anything you want to upgrade just because, but they did say however many you have, you'll be getting like a refund in fragments to make up for it. So if you're completely and they're going to be raising the fragment cap. So if you're completely maxed across the board like I am, you're going to be getting, you'll get a bunch more fragments. And you'll be closer to the new cap, which we don't know what the new cap is. It could be 99999, you know, but I guess we'll see. They all should just be infinite. I mean, they all just should be infinite. The worry that developers like this have with having infinite things like that is if someone has an exploit, they now just have infinite of a valuable resource, and they've fucked the game up for everybody else, you know? That's the only thing. That's the only reason developers ever cap resources like that. In hindsight, though, there's really no reason for anything to not just be infinite from a resource perspective, other than just to gate you. You know? Oh no! Oh no! I thought that was the way to get out of it.
The shutdown protocol is progressing. I'm inside AIM's security system.
That was funny.
AIM has initiated their shutdown protocol.
Yeah, I mean, don't upgrade anything just for the sake of upgrading, but like don't feel like you shouldn't upgrade anything because you want to get the refund. I definitely wouldn't like go crazy one way or the other. Just play the way you want to play. If you're that capped on resources anyway, like some of us are, you'll be fine regardless. Don't even go crazy. If you apply a status battery, but you try to use command to call, see if that does battery damage. Okay, I could try. I don't think it would, but I mean, as crazier things have happened, I guess. I just got to get an element on someone first, so give me a second with that one.
AIM has initiated their shutdown protocol.
I got Pim here. No. Oh, this guy's Sonic. Oh no, that's not a. You said a worm, right? So it'll have to be Pim, Plasma, Cosmic, Vibranium.
I'm inside AIM security system.
Kick that guy right under the fucking stairs. They don't activate in Brooklyn Brawler, sadly. Really? Stop it, Nate. I thought that was only the, I mean, you're probably right. Why did I think, I know that a lot of things didn't trigger in Brooklyn Brawler, but I thought it was only the brazen effect. I thought I was just not getting a lot of crits, which I'm not. But yeah, no, these aren't triggering. But Faultless does trigger. Like Brazen Jarvis Barrier does not work, but I use Faultless. I normally use Faultless Invulnerability, and that one works. So I don't know.
I've breached AIM security.
I'm sure it's just fucked. If we're being honest. I'm sure the pooch is sufficiently screwed with all this nonsense. I like how the confetti follows him around. I also didn't buy the Capwolf skin just because I think it looks a little silly. And I didn't buy any Halloween skins for obviously, one, because I wasn't purchasing anything with the consumables, but also I'm not a fan of like, you know, I guess I'll say festive skins, just because I feel like they're kind of, I mean, they're not useless, but like, I'm not going to use Capwolf year round. You know, like if I used Capwolf, it would be like, okay, haha, we're using Capwolf. You know, we would all get a laugh out of it, and then I would just unequip it. You know, it's not like a skin I would use regularly. So because of that, I'm not really interested in buying it. I mean, it's the same thing with any type of... If they came out with like a Christmas Hulk, like a Santa Claus Hulk, I wouldn't use that either, because I'd be like, why do I care about the, you know, a Santa Claus Hulk? It only works on normal crits. Yeah, that's bullshit because... So, like, I'll show you guys right now. I'll switch back to Faultless Invulnerability, which is what I normally use. And you'll see here, I'm going to get... It's going to take a while, but I'll get Invulnerability. There it is. It comes up. You know? So, I don't know. And this is happening through crits. This is happening through crits on my Brooklyn Brawler. So, obviously, it works in some cases and not in others. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the easiest way to crunch it up is the game is just porked. Who knows what works and what doesn't. And honestly, I'm not in a position to test all this nonsense, so I test what I can test. I test what I use. So there we go. We tested the Vibranium. It doesn't work. It is now dead to me.
Excellent. Another energy junction is gone.
You see here, like, I keep up invulnerability, and it works out really great because you can actually re-proc your invulnerability, you know, off crits. So, I mean, you want to just be careful, obviously, because you don't want to go too fucking ham that you forget about it. But at the same time, I mean, I know I can just finish off this mission, but if you can get consistent crits, you can keep up your invulnerability pretty much indefinitely, which is quite nice. All right, so let's see. Hopefully we just get this piece and we don't have to do a save reset. Happens with Widow too. Yeah, same thing with Widow though, because there's definitely some of the crit perks work with Widow. Not all of them, but some of them do.
Thank you, Avengers.
I saw some people complaining about the shipment. Yo, those people are fucking nuts. All right, so that's not what we wanted. So we're going to close. We're going to re-download. We're going to try again. People complaining about shipments as loot boxes, but they're free, not pay to win. I mean, those people are idiots, right? I mean, here's the thing. Yes, they are loot boxes, but loot boxes are not inherently bad. Paid loot boxes are bad. These things are completely free. They're only purchasable through the in-game currency, right? And you can see what's in them before deciding to purchase, and they have RNG protection built in, where if you buy too many of them and don't get the premium skin, you're guaranteed the premium skin. It's a no-brainer that they're a good thing. Anyone who thinks that like it's some weird like loot box thing is just being a clown, you know? I was thinking about grinding the Vibranium Hawkeye build. Yo, Chuck, Vibranium Hawkeye is great. He's one of the better characters to use Vibranium with because you can get... Most characters can't, or you cannot get a targeted buff Vibranium ranged piece, they don't exist. But with Hawkeye, you get the Vibranium on your melee piece, and then you could still have a targeted buff or a proficient buff ranged piece to make it worthwhile. So that works out quite nicely. So we're just going to keep the invulnerability here. The rest of these can go fly a kite, I guess. This can go fly a kite. Fuck these hive mind inserts. Fuck this. So like this doesn't work. This I know for a fact does not work. But yeah, so I guess the Vibranium, well, there you go. I didn't even buy the Vibranium one. So there we go. But you see, this is interesting because this one's Brazen Pin payload, but the other one's Faultless Vibranium payload. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Long story short, it doesn't work. The payload does not work in Brooklyn Brawler. Period. So that pretty much rules that one out. It's pretty straightforward. So we'll be using invulnerability on melee, which does work in Brooklyn Brawler. Done deal. Easy peasy. Tried plasma on Hawkeye and it doesn't work. What do you mean you tried plasma? You tried it on split shot? Split shot plasma? That should work fine. That should work really good.
We all know how well that went last time. We have to put a stop to it.
Yeah, you want Vibranium on the sword. You want Vibranium on the sword because that's what gives the split shot arrow. And then I can show you my Hawkeye after this. Just remind me because we might have to do a few more cap runs before we get the piece we want. But I can show you my Hawkeye and how the Vibranium build works. It's quite nice.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert.
Wonder if the shipment system is related with the vendors. We're gonna have to leave Sarah with her coffee. I mean, we'll have to see how that works. I think they said that there's more than just shipments. Like they announced shipments now, but they said that more than just shipments are coming as part of the rework. So I do believe, I think shipments are going to be separate from Sarah, but Sarah is going to have something as well. That was my understanding. Now, is that a correct understanding? I have absolutely no clue. It's anyone's guess. But that was my understanding. So we'll see.
One of their agents is down.
I still love Captain America. He's still such a fun hero to play. I don't care what anyone says. He's absolutely friggin' awesome. Like, come on, you can't tell me that wasn't just an awesome sequence, right?
We'll need to take control of their system.
Chastity, not Sarah, you're right. Sarah Garza is the anthill, bounty vendor, which no one goes to anymore because you have the kiosks. That is funny. Yeah, I do appreciate everyone coming out, though. I hope you guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you were here for the dev stream, what were your thoughts on it? Are you overall happy with, what they revealed, or do you think they could have done more? Do you think, do you dislike what they're planning here? I think, I mean, not to sully anyone's opinion with my own, I think it's all really good stuff. I like the idea that, I mean, the loot upgrade system, I guess, the changes or whatever, I like the idea that they're simplifying everything. That is a fine change, right? So I'm okay with that in just the most broad sense. However, we'll have to see, like, I guess we'll just have to see how it all works out. I have 68,000 units can pull off. Yeah, so you're going to be able to pull off about, however, they're 500 apiece. They're 500 a pop. And the thing about them too, don't forget, is that it's going to take 100 before the RNG protection kicks in. So you're gonna have to spend, which I think they said there's gonna be more ways to get them now anyway. But you're gonna have to spend, like, it's a chance that you can get them without the RNG protection. But if you buy 100 and you still don't get the premium suit, you will guaranteed get it in the 100th, right? So it must be. I'm guessing that it's like a small chance, but it goes up by like 1% every time you don't get it. Does that make sense? That's what I'm guessing it does. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't have that many. I have 52,000. That's not a lot. That'll get me 100 and change, right? So there is actually a grind, which I haven't done in the past yet, but I will put out a YouTube video on it. It's a little bit of a cheese. Well, it's not really a little bit. It's a lot of bit of a cheese, but it's definitely worth doing if you have the time to grind it, and you really want to up your cosmetic game or your credits units game before the payloads, before the whatever they're called, shipments do drop, because it'll absolutely put you over the top when it comes to buying shipments. And you know, there's going to be unique shipments.
AIM's network is equipped with a multi-point authentication system.
There's going to be unique costumes that you can only get in the shipments. So, but it's also not just costumes. They've confirmed that takedowns, nameplates, a ton of different things are going to be in the shipment. So you might open it and get a costume. You might open it and get a takedown. You know, it could be all different things.
That helps.
So the random chance is after. So the random chance is. No, it's random regardless. So it's random to start. It's only not random if there's like a, so every shipment's going to have like a premium, like a chase piece, right? And if you don't get it, because that's obviously going to be the piece that everyone's trying to get. If you don't get like I assume it'll be an exotic, maybe it'll be a legendary. If you don't get like, let's say the exotic from the particular shipment that you're opening, after 99 tries, it'll be you could get it on the first try. That'll be very lucky. But if you open 99 and you still don't get it, the 100th one is guaranteed to give it to you. That's what they mean.
Beginning infiltration. That helps. Thank you. I'm inside AIM security system.
But we'll see. I mean, here's a clue.
AIM has initiated.
Anyone complaining about, I don't know what people would be even complaining about. We currently do nothing with the things. Would you rather they just brought back Sarah Garza and not Sarah Garza? Whoever said that put me onto that. Would you rather they just bring back Chastity McBride and just have you do fucking nothing with her for an hour? You know, like the shipments are definitely a better thing than whatever they're trying to, you know, whatever they currently have, which is nothing, right? So I'm okay with it.
That helps. Thank
A pity system. I mean, that is what it is. But I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean,
our next destination on your HUD.
and a lot of games have like a dupe protection or a RNG type protection. But honestly, it's whatever. I mean, you want to get, and it's just costumes. It's all cosmetics, right? None of this stuff none of it's real money, and none of it is anything that affects gameplay. So I can't believe anyone thinking, you know, you might not think it's a big deal, but it's definitely not a negative. If anything, it's a pure positive. It might not be a major, unbelievably greatest thing they could have done, but fuck, it's pretty, I mean, it's good, right? What's up, Poppy Grinder? Like the changes making the game more simple, no need to catalyst and the other stuff. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's super sweet. I think we're all in agreement that that's a really sweet thing to have. Now, other than that, yeah, I mean,
There is a chest with gear close by.
it's going to be interesting what the game looks like after we do all this, you know, after all this stuff comes out. Maybe it'll be for the better, I don't think it'll be for the worse. I really think that, like, all of these changes are for the better, and it's not like, you know, it's not like they're done. It's not like, oh, this is it. They did it. They did all these changes, and now the game's perfect. But shit, it'll be better than it was, you know.
Why don't you guys take a break?
So yeah, I'm for it. You can call me for it. Just don't call me late for dinner, and that'll be that. They're complaining that they broke on a promise on loot boxes. No, anyone who thinks that is actually just wrong. Honestly, I mean, I'm not even interested in listening or entertaining those people. They're just looking to hate. I know there's already some clown YouTubers that are, you know, that just like to put out stupid videos about Avengers regardless. So I'm not even interested in those YouTubers. They're clowns. Honestly, if they hated the game so much, they would just go play a different game. It's honestly not that hard. Like, I could show you a masterclass in not liking a game. It's called not playing the fucking game. But instead, you're going to be a drama queen, acting like you're the big fucking know-it-all, smartest person in the world. Like, oh, hey, game's bad. It's like, okay, I could show you a lot of bad games, but why would I waste my time? I just don't play them instead. You know? Don't forget to show Hawkeye. Yo, I will not forget. Hopefully this is the run that we get the piece that we need. We need the melee piece. So if you see a melee icon, we're good. That's what we're looking for.
Thank you, Avengers.
Yo, we got it.
We'll continue monitoring AIM's facilities.
All right, there it is. The Iron Gloves of the Super Soldier. Status damage from Brooklyn Brawler. I mean, it kind of sucks, but we got it now. So now we're good. So let's do some Hawkeye. This piece is not as good as this piece, I don't think. Yeah. Oh wait, no. Sorry. Wait, where is my... Oh, did I delete it? I must have been screwing around. This is the piece, actually. Yes. Sorry. We got status damage. So this is one of the pieces that I've been using. Or I was using a piece, got this piece, and then said, oh, this is better, and I deleted the old piece. So you've got split shot arrow vibranium. The melee piece doesn't matter. The one problem with the vibranium on the melee is Vibranium Gear cannot, if it's a melee piece, it cannot roll with precision. So you'll see, like, I've got this piece, Precision, Valor, Resolve, the big three, right? Absolutely great for Hawkeye, but it's not really great, right? Because I need the vibranium. But that's okay. You can it's honestly dealer's choice. If you want a little bit higher stats versus having the vibranium as the element, it's really player choice. They both will work. It's just deciding if you want the better stats or the better element. Now, coming over to the ranged piece, you can obviously use anything. This was my GG piece from a while back. It is no longer an amazing piece because they nerfed Tachyon Surge. Targeted buff still works really well. If I could exchange this with anything, it would be a proficient buff piece. Stats are great. I would keep the stats. The ranged attacks, pulsar, cosmic, that's fine. I would change the bottom piece with expert spark, so that kills with a ranged crit, give you a heroic charge burst. That would be a better piece. And with Hawkeye, I mean, targeted buff will work, but you do want, ideally, the better piece is proficient, because his proficient buff, proficient prefix means ranged power attacks. Okay. For Hawkeye, the split shot arrow counts as a ranged power attack. So it'll proc on every possible arrow versus just procking on the crits. But he shoots so many arrows that targeted buff works just fine. But it's, again, it's kind of dealer's choice. Whatever you get a better roll on, just go with that. And then that's that. So I actually wanted to try this piece, which I guess I don't need to upgrade it. I just want to go in the harm room because I heard a rumor that the Vibranium Gear was fixed now. So if you don't know, there is Vibranium Gear here. So you see this one right here that have like very unique perks: lethal reverberation spark, chance defeating enemies afflicted with the Vibranium status effect, grant a heroic charge burst for all heroics. Now, I'm going to be doing that to pretty much every enemy. Here's the thing. This used to not work, okay? If it worked, it would be great. But it used to not work. So I'm going to try it. We're going to see if it works. So we're just going to go into a custom harm room. If this works, I've got a lot of pieces across a lot of characters that could work really well with it. But we'll have to see. So let me just do Synthoid group size 5. So what we're looking for here, we have no other way to get heroic charge burst. So we're going to be looking on the left side of our screen to see if we get a heroic charge burst. That's going to be our cue. Okay, so far not seeing it. It's a low chance to proc, so it might not proc. Not seeing it. And I do have a piece of gear. I do have a heroic that's not charged up, so it's possible it's just not, you know. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And these guys that are dying are vibraniumed up, so I think it's just not working. So, okay, back to the vault with this piece. So this piece is no-go. So I'll go back to my Ranger's bow. This is a nice piece here that I'm using. It's effectively the same as the exotic, which is the Operatives Kit. So the Operative Kit has some better stats, although this one's stats are actually, this legendary actually rolled better. This Operatives Kit is very good. You can get it from the priority mission. And basically gives you 20% increased damage and impact when lockdown is active. That's good because we're going to be getting that a lot. And then the duration of your recovery arrow by 10 seconds. That's really good, especially because we put a lot of crit. We put the crit chance perk on our recovery arrow, so having that for an extra 10 seconds is very good. The only difference is this third perk is actually variable on a legendary version. So this piece, if you do get this, the 15% willpower and heroic when lockdown is active, that's fine. But if you can get a variable third perk, this one's pretty nice. Defeat 3 enemies for an intrinsic. Defeat 3 enemies for a heroic charge burst would be very nice as well. But you'll see in action, this is basically the build, right? So, and I mean, we don't, you know, this is just... So, I mean, he's just going to mow. He's just going to mow through these enemies, right? There's really not much to even say about a lot of this. It's going to be a slashing. And so we're going to keep it. We're going to be constantly getting intrinsic burst. We're going to be getting damage burst, damage boost all the time. Tachyon Surge, which used to increase our damage even more, but it doesn't now. So if I could get like a kills grant heroic charge burst, that would be even nicer. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. But that's pretty much it. That's the build. And I mean, the Vibranium brings it to like a pretty nice level where, you know, the damage explosions are actually quite nice to have for killing these guys. But it's by no means necessary. If you have Pim, Plasma, Cosmic, whatever other random element you might have, it'll work great there as well. So you really don't need to go too crazy. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the build. It's a very... I mean, this is probably one of the builds I'll bring into the raid. Definitely it's a top contender. Before pre-Tachyon Surge nerf, I would have told you that this is my best build, hands down. Right now, it's hard for me to definitively say that. It's still one of my better builds, but the loss of Tachyon Surge does hurt it substantially. As you can see, it's still, you know, it's still blowing through this. These guys, which they're 168, which I think was just because I was a little lower level when I loaded in. But, I mean, obviously blowing the doors off of these guys. And like I said, if I could get not... So I keep getting this intrinsic burst. If I could not get intrinsic burst and get heroic charge burst, that would be even better. on this piece, but otherwise that's the build. If I could just get my heroics back nonstop, that would be pretty sweet as well. But honestly, it's so the build, it crushes it regardless, right? So here we are. And then you want to keep throwing down your heal field pretty often. One, for you and your teammates, going to keep you alive, of course, but you also get that crit chance. And remember, we have the extra 10 seconds in it. So that's 10 more seconds of heals and crits, right? So, I mean, if you look at the buffs on the side of our screen, I mean, we're absolutely going fucking ham and cheese, right? It's pretty insane. And that's basically that. And you guys know, of course, Hawkeye gets the what is it? The lightning arrow, right? So he's going to charge him up. So you're going to get your, I think we already finished it. You're going to get your intrinsic burst, pretty easily anyway. So it took you forever to get the operatives. I believe it, man. I thank God they're getting rid of the doofus do 16. Oh, are they getting rid of that? I didn't even hear that. Wish they didn't nerf Tekken. I know, man. Yo, Eugene Maddox, what's going on, man? Welcome. How you doing? Let me see if the Hulk still works good. I don't know if you guys saw my Hulk build recently, but this is a version of Hulk that I'm strongly considering using a lot of. So you'll see here, heavy power attacks plasma, and then if you use small debris sonic, you can actually get both status effects. So check this out. You got to get your rage first, but basically look at this. Everyone is sonicked up. I'm getting battery effect nonstop. Now I do not have sonic on my melee. I have plasma on my melee, but I got sonic on small debris, so it works as it works with my power attacks, assuming I'm using the, what's it called? The rage, right? And these are 170 enemies, right? So here we are. And now I'm spec'd, in this particular case, I'm spec'd into Valor, right? So doing a lot of Valor. But look at this. I mean, how helpful is this going to be to a team, right? I mean, it's just blowing these guys away. You don't even need, and here's the thing, you don't even have to be spec'd into Valor. I could do this as a double orange ISO. I could do it as double red, right? I like to do this as a tank, almost like a support, right? So here we are. Maybe we're not doing as much damage, but they're all, like, watch how much damage we're going to be doing anyway. When they're all, so, you'll get them with the Bone Shaker, right? And I'm not even using my clap, right? But look at this. I mean, this is a pure tank build. And these guys are mowed down, man. These guys have no chance, especially if you're on a team, right? They're gonna be getting those takedowns, all that good stuff. And remember, plasma as an element. Don't forget, plasma spreads, right? So the ticks from the plasma is no joke. It's more damage than you might think it is, right? They might fix it. We'll see if they fix it. But yeah, they should fix it. Here's the thing. This used to be a thing you could do with Hulk with any status effect. But then they fixed it so that it didn't work. But now it does work, but only with Sonic. But I would still recommend grabbing this. I doubt they'll fix it in time for the raid. And look at this. I mean, having all of this, I mean, this is going to be useful, especially if, there's going to be areas of the raid that just are tons and tons and tons of enemy. Is might really that important? I mean, might, you can use might. Might is not useless. If I just show you here, I'll just throw 2 might pieces on and I'll show you how we're going to be getting a lot more damage on these attacks, right? But again, a lot of our damage is actually coming from the status, right? So like the physical melees are going to be doing a little more, and then the takedowns will do a lot more. But I mean, is melee worth it on Hulk? It really depends. A lot of people play either tanky Hulks or Vibranium. I'm sorry, not Vibranium. Heroic based Hulks, right? In which case, Might is not really good. You'd want Valor instead. I personally prefer Valor, even if I'm playing a melee-ish build, just because Valor makes it so that you can kind of play a little of everything, right? You can be melee, you can use your heroics, and everything's gonna do good damage as long as you're getting crits, right? But look, I mean, these are 170 enemies, and they're just getting absolutely steamrolled. And this is not like a bone shaker and clap build, right? I mean, this is gonna be useful even if your teammates are stealing your orbs. This is not a selfish build by any stretch. This is truly a support build, right? So I do like this with Hulk a lot. Now, are they going to fix it? Probably at some point, but it took them a long time to fix it the first time, so we'll see. And probably not in time for the raid. So we'll see on that too. So if you're thinking Hulk, definitely try to at least pick these pieces up. Give yourself the option for the raid. And it's not like it's so broken that it just breaks the game. It's just strong. I mean, if you... Believe me, this Hulk is by no means min-maxed in any way, shape, or form. If you have like a really solid Hulk, it's probably better than this anyway. But I just think that's a good Hulk, you know? What's the purpose of being a superhero supposed to be powerful if they keep nerfing? It makes the game pointless. Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it depends, right? Obviously, nerfs are never something I want to see. But at the same time, you can't have perks that are just the only option. I would agree that when it comes to nerfs, I would rather they nerf nothing and buff everything else. Like if one thing is way too powerful, instead of nerfing it, they should bring everything else up and then just make the content generally harder, right? That would be my take. But then you get a power creep, right? So there's two problems with that. One, you get this power creep where things are getting harder and harder and harder, right? Or more and more overpowered, and it just becomes a totally different game. The second problem is it's a lot harder to buff 100 things that are performing below par than it is to nerf one thing that's standing out, right? Just from like a development perspective. That's the only other issue with that. The only other hero that I really want to like get a little more, I guess I'll say raid ready, is my Widow. Now, I really like my Widow, but she definitely could be better. Luckily, I got super lucky that I actually didn't have Tachyon Surge at all on my Widow. So, it worked out. I think Widow, if the content that we get is less focused on single target DPS and more focused on like ad clear and puzzles, I think Widow will still be extremely good. She is still one of the best characters for orb generation. I'll show you that in just a sec. It's basically just a so obviously this belt is the belt you want, the Red Room Coil. This gives you, now I have an absolutely nutty roll on it. So if you look at those stats, you can't even get those stats anymore. But basically guaranteed chance of landing a crit when attacking an enemy from behind while invisible. Fantastic. Increased damage while invisible and increased duration of invisibility. Now you pair that, of course, with the no-brainer perk, which is the... Where is it? It's one of these... There's a perk that when you're invisible, you get... here you go. Extends invisibility... Oh, no. Kills... Where the fuck is it? Well, I forget where it is, but there's one that increases... or it might just be part of... Here it is. Sorry. So you don't even pair it with anything, but you get more duration while you're invisible. So basically what you do, you just go invisible, and it's a high cal build. So you do try to get behind them. See, these guys are a little strong. So it's not going to work out as well on them, but it's still pretty straightforward, and this is basically it. And you can also use your takedowns, because you do get takedowns on low health enemies regardless. So if the enemies are a little tankier than you would like, you can do this. If the enemies are on level, these guys are 170, remember, right? So maybe for this would be like a demonstration of the heroic version, but for the 150s, the normal version of the raid, you should be absolutely fine here. I don't know how this guy sees me, but that's okay. And don't forget to use these as well, especially if you can throw these behind the enemy. That's really sweet as well. But once you get damage buff, you should be looking good to just kind of cap off, and that's it. You're going to get orbs. Takedowns, if a takedown kills a guy, you're going to get an orb on it. You're going to get 2 orbs, and every single kill gets you 1 orb. Every kill while invisible gets you exactly 1 orb. So really, really strong. You know, unfortunately, the whole seeing Black Widow while invisible is a little sus right now, but it is what it is. And, you know, there's melee versions of this that you can do, of course. I don't think the melee versions are as strong as the ranged versions, but that's just intrinsic to how melee and ranged works in general. But hopefully, you know, some melee versions of this will be more introducible, because you could definitely do something like this where you're just going ham and cheese on the melee, especially in the super, and staying invisible the whole time as well, right? So this is the Black Widow. Please answer this question. What's the max vendor level? Mine stops at 50. What you mean, Show World? I'm not sure I follow the question. The max vendor level, like the gear that they sell? Oh, you mean the level up? Yeah, it's 50. It is 50. 50 is the high. Once you get there, you're done. And then once you do get there, once you get to, I think, 40, you get the artifact, or 40 gets you a costume, 50 gets you the artifact. And then from there, you're done. You don't have to level any, they don't level up any further. But anyway, boys, this is the Widow build. I think it's a fun build. I do still think it's pretty good. I don't know. It struggles. I can tell you for a fact it struggles with Super Adaptoid just because of how he is. The, you know, the way it works, it's just not, she doesn't do quite enough damage just with her high cal. Again, this is as compared to a freaking Thor or someone, you know. So don't, you know, take that with a grain of salt for sure. But I still think this is a sweet build. If you like Widow, definitely check out this build. This is also on my build guide list as well. So, yo, I got you, Show World. No problem, bro. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing well, brother. Is it normal for Team Takedown to hit so hard? Yeah, it is. It's just an arbitrary number. It's just, the thing is, a Team Takedown will always kill. It's always meant to be a one-shot. So you always just see an arbitrarily high number that will 100% kill the enemy regardless of their health. That's why it's so high. This Widow build does take a little, it still takes a little, you know, coordination. You got to still manage your cooldowns, you know, pretty precisely, just to make sure you're getting the maximum value, right? But you generate, if you guys didn't see, I'm generating an orb on every single kill. That's a lot of freaking orbs. Right? Look at these orbs. And again, you can go behind these guys. Unfortunately, they see you regardless. If there were more enemies, or sorry, more teammates, you know, in the game, it wouldn't be as much of a joke of them just still seeing me. But look at these takedowns. I mean, it's just money. And I think in a raid type environment, if we're gonna see like this caliber or this level of enemies, it's gonna be interesting. But I do hope that there is more of a focus on just like massive battles. You know what I mean? Because if it's just like boss fight after boss fight, just like arena style boss fights where it's just you and the boss and that's it, that to me will be a little blah, because then just the characters that have the highest single target are just going to be the best characters. Whereas if it's something a little more like you know, arena style, you have to fight just like a massive horde of enemies, that might be a little more interesting in terms of, you know, like that would be a cooler battle, you know what I mean? But I mean, either way, we'll see. I just hope, and I'm just hoping if the raid is even slightly good, which I'm sure it'll be good, right? I don't expect the world. I'm not expecting it to be the greatest piece of content that's ever come to video games, but I do expect it to be pretty good, right? And assuming it's good, that's a good sign, because I would like to see more raids. They should be focusing almost primarily on raids. And other various endgame contents. I think we're past the point of any type of, you know, I'll say campaign style. Like, anyone who's playing the campaign has played any type of campaign they've already played, and that's just the end of it, right? No one's like going caca for cuckoo puffs over a fucking new campaign, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe some people are, but not fucking me. To me, it's all about the end game, and it's tough because when you create something like a campaign, it's really designed to get more players like interested, right? Look at like Black Panther, right? They all just assumed that everyone was going to come back when the Black Panther DLC came out because they wanted like a Black Panther style game, quote unquote. But of course, as we know, like once you're done with the DLC, you're done, right? So they need to, the campaigns should be the small thing, and everything else should be past that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I don't know like what looter shooter or looter driven games you guys have played in the past, but pretty much every looter that I've ever fucking played, I've just tried to, especially if it's like a live service, you know, game like this, I race through the fucking campaign. I blast through the campaign so that I can get into the end game and start grinding for end game content. That's just how I play them. And I know a lot of other players are the same way, right? So that's not to say everybody, but it's certainly not nobody. And I think it's probably the majority of players, at least that are still playing now. And, you know, they don't need the most unbelievable campaign. Like, no, you can make an amazing campaign and it's still just going to get done, and then people are going to leave when it's done. So you can't, it's like an identity crisis, right? You can't have a game be focused on having great campaigns, but also be a live service and then still only focus on the campaigns. If it's going to be a live service game, you should focus on the live service, and the campaigns should be ancillary. Battlefield or COD, neither. I play Destiny. Other than, you know, Avengers, I play Avengers and I play games with my girlfriend. So we play like we're playing Guardians right now. We're also playing Tales of Arise right now. But otherwise I play Destiny outside of this. Hope the raid is so busy you can get Widow to Power Surge 15. Yo, I've got her. I think I've got her about that high. I've definitely got her past 10. I don't remember my high, but I've definitely got her past 10. Oh, speaking of girlfriend, here she is. Is she making her flight? My girlfriend's actually on her way to Salt Lake City right now for a conference. La 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 la. Hang on 1 second, boys. Just want to make, she had a pretty tight connection on her flights, so I just want to make sure she got to the next gate in time. Maybe if they brought your favorite superhero, but the new campaigns have been lacking, so I wouldn't be too excited. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why Spider-Man's not even going to have a campaign. He's going to have an event where it's going to be like events out in the wild type of thing, just kind of telling a story through playing the content that's already in the game. So, you know, which is fine, honestly. Like, here's what I've always said, and I know a lot of other content creators have mirrored this sentiment, is the heavy hitter characters, right? The big ticket characters, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Wanda, right? The big names should have big DLCs. Black Panther, perfect example. Big name character, big DLC. Spider-Man is the biggest name, but he's so big that he's exclusive. So, you know, that's a sensitive topic anyway. But Spider-Man's separate. Black Panther, though, he's a big DLC. Kate Bishop, small DLC, right? Characters like She-Hulk, the B-listers, She-Hulk, Winter Soldier, War Machine, right? The B-lister characters should be getting pushed out as fast as possible with minimal campaign aspect. The characters like She-Hulk should not be taking long because they're still working on a campaign. Make it like one fucking mission. Nobody cares, right? How many people actually care about the Kate Bishop DLC or the Hawkeye DLC? No one cares. What matters is that you get a new character in the game. That's what's important. The big ticket, like, no one's going to care about Spider-Man's story. People want to play as Spider-Man. That's the draw, is getting Spider-Man back in the game, or in the game. Destiny on the 5. Yo, Eugene, Destiny on PC, but yo, shoot me, or I'll try to DM you my my Bungie, because it's crossplay. It's all crossplay. So you can just crossplay and be good to go. What else? Does the raid have its own gear? Yo, Renee, they said in the dev stream that it's not only does it have its own gear, but the perk pool for the raid is enormous. There's a lot of different perks you can get on gear, so it's going to be really sweet. Oh, hang on. They basically killed Spider-Man's chance at DLC. So they made him exclusive. Yeah, I hear you. It's true. Still mad about Spider-Man. Switched to Xbox 10 years ago. Would like to play some damn Spider-Man God of War. Bro, I hear you. Like, you know, people make up this big console war, but honestly, like, as a PlayStation player myself, I don't care that Spider-Man's exclusive. Like, there's the amount of PlayStation players that actually care that they're getting an exclusive is like the most minimal. It's just the snot-nosed kids, really, right? Like all the kids on the forums that are like F Xbox, PS5 for life, whatever, PS5 better. Like, that is so irrelevant to anything. Those are all nobodies, right? Those are all just children. Most of us adults who have PlayStation have absolutely no ties to any type of exclusivity or a care in the world. If Xbox also got Spider-Man, I would have absolutely no... Why would that matter to me as a PlayStation player? It doesn't, right? And it's not... I think before the game came out, they thought that this game was going to be a lot bigger than it was. So PlayStation wanted to have the in of really having, like, you know, if you're going to buy this game, buy it on PlayStation because we have Spider-Man. They wanted more sales on PlayStation than they did on Xbox, which they got. They did get, you know, the game is larger on PlayStation, but it's not like such a large game anyway, right? So, you know, it kind of backfired in their face a little bit, but whatever. I just want as many people as possible playing this game. I think, and yeah, I don't mean that in the sense of, I'll never try to, tell anybody this game is good when it's not. I'll never try to like sugarcoat, and I'm not going to name any names, but there's a lot of, community members, community influencers who just will never ever criticize this game in any way to avoid being blacklisted by Crystal Dynamics, and I'm not about that. I call it like it is regardless. I don't fake smiles through the bullshit. If shit goes down in this game that's fucked up, I call it like I see it. And that's pretty much that. I don't fuck around with any of the bullshit of, but on the flip side, if things are good, I'm going to call them good. If I legitimately enjoy something, I'm going to call it that. And I'll always side with the community over the developers. I got a lot of respect for the developers. They work their asses off. But if I'm blacklisted because I say negative shit about the game, then I'm fucking blacklisted. I don't give a fuck. I can't give a fuck because fuck the developers. If this game goes the way of the fucking motorboat and gets shit on in a year, then what? Then where are all the shills? Like nothing. And I didn't, not to go on such a rant. I didn't want to go too crazy, but, there were a few people that when the paid consumables, the pay to win consumables came out, there were a lot of names that either downplayed them, said they weren't a big deal, said, oh, well, they don't affect me, so I don't care, blah, 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 and like, just like generally went out of their way to have a positive, take on them, when realistically, like, they kind of jumped through hoops to justify them. And then those same people, when Crystal Dynamics agreed with the community that these were a bad idea and took them out, those same people were praising Crystal Dynamics for listening to the community. So, it is what it is. I'm all set with that. Again, you're not gonna get me to say anything bad about anyone individually, but I don't fuck with that shit. I will always call it like I see it with this community, regardless of the consequences of saying what I say. So that's that. Anyway, rant over. I had a PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and then all ended the same. The I wouldn't read discs. Oh, bro, Chuck, you got to get the digital, bro. We're in the digital age now. Fuck discs. A lot of people like discs. I'm not a disc guy. I prefer discless. Hang on a sec. Game is dead on Xbox. There's 20 people max looking for groups. Yikes. Yeah, that's right. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, hopefully they can turn that around. I think the raid is going to be a good starting point. I've said forever, like, it's the end game is what holds this game back, right? If you're grinding for, hey, get down, get the fuck down from there. Hey, get out of here. Fucking bastard cat eating the plant. Sorry. I've been saying forever that it's end game that the game needs to fix, right? Like the end game grind is what's like the problem right now. There is none. And we thought that the Omega level threat might be what would fix it. But of course that's not the case. The Omega level threat is nothing. It is not anything that matters. So like there's really no point, right? hopefully the raid will be that thing, and I hope that the game can shift in a way. Where am I going here? I'm trying to do the 14th floor. Here we go. I'm hoping the game can shift in a way that the raid becomes the priority thing, right? If you look at a game like Destiny, for example, Destiny releases one raid a year, maybe two, you know, or maybe like 2 in a 3-year period, or, you know, 2 in like a rolling 18-month period or whatever. Like, they release raids very infrequently, and every single raid in that game is still being played today. Because it's quality end game content that has a legitimate chase. Like even the older raids in Destiny that they still have chase exotics that you want to get, even though the power level's not there. So people still do the older raids if they still need the exotics, right? That being said, like, that's what this game needs. And I know the loot system works differently in this game, but the point is the same. Like, the raid should be the first thing you're doing as an end game character, and it should be something that you can do a lot, right? And I think it will be. If you could do it once per character, per, you know, what is it, per character per week, that's a lot of grinding. That's probably more than I'll be able to do. I don't know about you guys. Like, I don't know if I can do 9, 10, including Spider-Man. That's a lot of freaking grinding, right? And so the question is, like, is that enough? And this is only the start, remember, right? Like, we're going to have this raid, and then hopefully more raids, more characters. That means more characters to do the raid on, right? So hopefully it just snowballs from there. Do you get what I'm saying? That would be the ideal snowball effect. And then with the loot rework and the cosmetic rework, I think it's like a fresh start, basically, right? But I would like to see the game get to a point where we're at the, like, the raid is the first thing you do, right? If you log into the game, you're an endgame player, you log in, okay, time to do our weekly raid. Time to do our weekly raid. Let's say, time to do your weekly raid on your main, right? Boom. Oh, it's reset day. Let me redo the raid on Thor. Hopefully I get that piece. Bang. Okay, we did the raid. It was great. It took 2 hours. You know, that's like a night of gaming, right? Okay, tomorrow I'm going to try the raid on Iron Man. Okay, then the next day I'm going to try it on maybe Hawkeye, right? Maybe some weeks you try it on someone different. Maybe on some weeks you get it on everybody. And then in addition to that, there's still all the old content, right? You still have to do, which you don't have to do, but there's still going to be the priority mission. There's still going to be the Mega Hive. There's still going to be other things in the game that you can do, right? That are going to be rewarding, ideally. And especially, like they said, they're gonna be revamping all the gear sets. So you're gonna want to redo the Mega Hive. You're gonna want to redo the priority mission. You're gonna want to redo, you know, all of these, you know, the Last Avenger Standing mission. These are missions that you're gonna want to redo again when they change the gear, and you have to regrind the gear. Which, you know, you can have your opinion on regrinding or whatever, but regardless, the point stands, right? Like, it's gonna be stuff that you know, you're gonna have to do. So I think the raid adds a lot. The Omega level threat didn't really add anything in terms of like, hey, here's the Omega level threat, let's, you know, play it 10 times per character per week, right? It didn't have that. But if the raid brings that, I think we're in a really good spot. Like, I'm not even joking. I think it's a lot of content and only going to be more. You're going to play with subs? I'm going to play with everybody, bro. Absolutely everybody. I would appreciate it if you're subbed. You know, if you haven't already, definitely sub. But, yeah. Oh, no. Did we get glitch here? No, we're good. I am definitely going to be playing with absolutely everybody, anybody who wants to do it. I'm going to be doing... I never want to say, like, raid carries, but it's going to be my primary... I can tell you, you know, as far as stream schedule, I'm probably not going to change too much. It's probably still going to be the same amount of streams per week, which is 1, maybe 2. But when we do stream, it's going to be raids. And I want to help people with raids, especially like that's going to be the goal too. If you need help on maybe a character who's maybe not as optimized, I'd be happy to come in, you know, with a character who is more optimized, who can, you know, like I said, I never want to say like a carry, but, you know, just to assist with the raid, right? Yo, B Waters, what's good tricks? What are you most hyped off of the dev stream? Yo, I mean, well, we saw a glimpse of Spider-Man, a very glimpsy glimpse of Spider-Man. So definitely excited for that. The most exciting thing was that we're gonna see Spider-Man next week. We're literally going to see him in the game. Pretty unbelievable. I can't believe this day is actually happening, to be honest. So that's exciting. As far as what they revealed today, I'm definitely excited for the reworked gear. The reworked, what's it called? Named gear. That's really interesting stuff. I think that's going to be really, really cool to have, and I think that's going to be something that like they can constantly tweak and change. So that's going to be sweet. I'm not crazy about the cosmetic, or excuse me, the currency change. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's anything like groundbreaking. It's definitely, it's nice that they're you know, simplifying it a little bit, because it was too many resources to manage. It was a little unnecessary to have that many things. I will agree with that. I don't think it's anything so earth-shattering that it, you know, is like worth going crazy over, but nice to see. But yeah, the gear reworks for me sounds pretty sweet. It sounds like the raid will have a lot of gear. So that's what I'm hyped for. What about you? If you sacrifice Power Surge, a Black Widow heavy combo finisher build is insane. I believe it. Her heavy combo finisher is only like, what, a 4-hit combo? It's not a lot at all, right? And her heavy combo finisher, her heavy combo does a hidden shock, right? It's like Iron Man's lasers. It doesn't build shock, but if someone's already, you know, plasmid, for example, it'll do battery effect, right? It's one of those. In a bit of a pickle, do I go with Kate and Gamma with only one potentiator, or double Cosmic potentiator? I would go double Cosmic if you can do Cosmic Scattershot. Cosmic is better on Kate because it's a warm effect. You generally want your payoff element to be a warm effect. So if other people, a lot of characters in this game are able to do a lot of shock damage intrinsically, I would stay away from Gamma as your payoff, as like your general main ability attack, because it's going to not battery effect with the other thing, with shock, which your teammates are probably going to be doing quite a lot of. Oh, Jesus. Think Spider-Man's going to save the game, or it's going to get boring in 1 week? No, I mean, I don't think he's going to save or break the game. I think he's just going to be another sweet character to have. I think the raid will do more to save the game than Spider-Man will. We definitely need more end game than we do an additional character. And as much as I'm a fan of Spider-Man, it's like the same with Black Panther, right? Like Black Panther came out, okay, great. Like people were happy to get a new character in Black Panther, but it's not like you were playing a different game, right? The game was still the same with just another character thrown in. So Spider-Man, same thing, another character thrown in. I think the raid is what's going to really change fundamentally how people play the game, you know? Exotic Glocks. I had the game but deleted it. It was just the same missions. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it still is. But, you know, the big news is that the first raid ever is coming out at the end of this month. So everyone's pretty hopeful for that. We definitely think that that's going to be it's really the first end game content that we're getting, so it should be sweet. Gear and rolls need to change, very repetitive. Yeah. I mean, how it'll change is hopefully they just add a little more uniqueness, right? I think that's what they talked about on stream as one of the more general fixes. but we'll have to see what that really means, right? Jesus.
Surprise! Enemies engaged, y'all.
Was using it for Thor. What were you using? What element? So for Thor, I would definitely recommend a warm element. Because he does a lot of intrinsic shock damage. Boy, that was the worst Hulkbuster in the history of Hulkbusters. He does a lot of intrinsic shock, so pairing him with like a Vibranium or Plasma, or I don't know if he can get Plasma, Vibranium or Pym or Cosmic will work out really nice because he'll be able to just get that battery effect, that self-battery effect pretty often. Spider-Man being exclusive will definitely not save this game. If anything, it annoyed other platforms from continuing to play. Well, that's the thing, right? That's why I think Spider-Man is more of a side thing. And you got to figure the other platforms, if you're a steady player on another platform anyway, you're definitely going to play the raid when it comes out, right? And you're going to check out all the updates. I mean, realistically, this update is the biggest update. That was my video today on it. This update that's coming on the 30th is hands down the biggest update this game's ever received. Way bigger than War for Wakanda. Even though War for Wakanda might have had more stuff in it, quote unquote, it's not bigger in the sense of changing how we play the game. War for Wakanda was just the largest content inject. Unfortunately, it was all campaign content, so nothing lasting other than Black Panther himself. How about that unarmed attack perk? Bro, I know you're going to be using that. I laughed at it because they added it over, I think it was the girdle. Or the cincture, excuse me. The cincture of Asgard's Scion, which is what I use on my Thor. And I have the Jarvis Barrier, of course, with a really high stat roll. So I'm going to keep the old version of that. Luckily, they were like, well, you can keep the old version if you want or get the new one. I'm like, yeah, old one, please. Thanks. So I thought that was pretty funny when they said that. Does anyone here main Kate Bishop? I know this is a random question. Does anyone like... I assume everyone plays Kate to some extent. Does anyone main Kate, though? I'm just curious, because Kate, in my opinion, is a bit of a not as popular of a character and also not as high-powered. But I always have fun playing Kate, so it's kind of interesting, you know? What kind of story is Spider-Man going to have? Well, so they didn't really say, but what they did say was that he's, it's essentially a side story. The Gear Rework blog is up now. Oh, geez, like an actual blog post. Hold on. Let's take a look at that, if it is in the news. God, why does it fucking always go to the Square Enix site?
Head for the location on your HUD.
I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Yep. I had to refresh. So let me pause this. Let's take a look at this really quick. We'll read this together, boys. Hang on. No, that ain't gonna work. There we go. Okay, here it is. All right, so let's check this out. Oh, this is from the guy Alex, who was just talking. Designer working on gear reworks, including the upcoming reworks on November 30th. I'd like to take a minute to explain in full detail, blah, blah, blah. There are several changes to hero gear that have been made. Appealing, whether this is fixing bugs with perks, rearranging perks. Wanted to offer more options to players looking for more variety in builds. Due to community feedback, we've also added status effects for heroes who are currently missing them. All of them, every single one. Yeah, so they mentioned that on stream. Every character can now get every effect. So Hulk can get cryo, Thor can get plasma, whatever. Iron Man can get shock lasers. Like, it's going to be everything. Ms. Marvel plasma, Iron Man shock, blah, blah, blah. So they're already saying it. These perks will be added either specialty gear, Omega gear for Hulk. I don't know why that's a relevant fucking thing. Or Hive Mind. Okay. So it's really going to be the vendors is where you're going to be able to get the good rolls. Because you don't want Hive Mind and Omega gear sucks. So if you want a shock Iron Man, look for something from the vendor. Maybe try to get something with targeted buff and shock. That'd be cool. We've also updated rewards from Omega Level Threat Family Reunion. We've heard the feedback that you want less variance in stat rolls for Omega Gear and more opportunities to get them. Rather than remove perks to address one of these issues, we have made the mission drop Omega Gear for every completion. This gear will not improve a hero's power level, but will provide more chances to get a roll the players want. We have removed the minor artifact awarded and replaced it with fragments as part of a resource rework we'll talk about below. There's also a chance for an additional Jarvis or other set gear to drop in case you wanted another source of that. I do always want another source of Jarvis. Furthermore, due to feedback and internal testing, several perks that have been updated where the specific trigger plays a big factor of the percent of the perk activating. For example, a trigger of being damaged, which is a passive easy event, has a lower base chance to activate the buff the perk's on. So this is I have this, right? I use this on almost all my builds. It's a reactive buff, right? A reactive whatever. And normally it's like, what, 20? I'm looking at a piece now, 25%. So it's going to be a lot lower. It's still going to be the best thing to have. Perks focus on defeating an enemy under certain status effect have been increased to the second highest, right behind reviving teammates. Let me tell you, chance to trigger anything on reviving a teammate is going to be the worst perk in the game. Save a niche Ms. Marvel support build. Otherwise, terrible. Of course, all this affected by proficiency, and older gear with the higher percent roll will retain its value until it is upgraded. Oh, no. Boo. Oh, what the fuck? So there you go. So it won't retain its value. If you thought you had a good piece that had the higher stat roll, the legacy stat roll, it will now have the newer value when upgraded. Boo, that's bad. So there's no point in even them saying that it'll keep it. Irrelevant, because of course you're going to want to re-roll. Okay, resource rework. Since the launch of the game, we've had various resources, blah, blah, blah. From a high level, we are removing the need for catalyst, nanotubes, nanites, plasma, and uru. We will grant a number of fragments, upgrade modules, and polychlorions to players for these resources and remove them from the UI. When players log in, they will be notified of the resources being retired and what resources they get in exchange. We may bring some of the retired resources back in the future if there was a clear need for a new resource to support any new or updated system. Let's hope they don't. So this is what you're going to see when the patch drops. They're going to crunch all of your resources, and then you're going to see on the right-hand side here, like how many of each resource you're going to get based on how much you had of all the other stuff. Also, can I just say, I like how this had a Spider-Man background and they changed it to Black Widow. This is the Spider-Man they revealed on the stream. That's so ridiculous. They're fucking ridiculous. In patch 2.2, the only resources needed for upgrading gear and minor artifacts will be fragments and upgrade modules. Major artifacts will now require a mix of fragments and polychlorions. This means we will need to rework areas, blah, blah, blah. Dismantling gear will now reward players with fragments, upgrade modules, and sometimes polys based on the rarity. Defeating enemies will now only drop fragments, in quantity and frequency based on the size and difficulty of the enemy. Some smaller enemies may not drop fragments at all, while normal adaptoids drop fragments most of the time. Blitz adaptoids, elite exos will drop fragments more often. All missions that had a non-standard resource as a reward will have it replaced as fragments in larger amounts. All missions and mission chains will have some fragment or upgrade module as a part of their reward, with the amount increasing based on type of mission. Strong boxes will continue to give out fragments with a focus on higher quality gear, as the others will focus on higher quality gear. Large strong boxes and stockpile strong box, I don't know what those are, will focus on giving out resources with stockpile strong boxes. Will also give upgrade modules. Silver, gold, shield cache, and DNA strong boxes will not award fragments or upgrade modules. Boo! DNA strong boxes were previously the way to get upgrade modules. That was the best farm. Okay. Gear and faction vendors, with no need for the retired resources, we removed all the resource conversion options from all vendors and replaced them with specialty gear offerings similar to the Wakandan gear vendor. Each vendor will have different offerings you can improve your hero. That can improve as your hero's power level increases. Most of these specialty offerings will have a higher fragment cost when compared to normal gear. The prices for all this gear have been adjusted to account for the focus on fragments. Challenge cards awards. Some challenge cards also gave resource packages, so these have all been replaced or adjusted. The rare resource bundles have been removed, and in their place will be a bundle of fragment or upgrade modules. The exotic resource bundle no longer gives Uru and grants more polychlorion than before. Okay. Gear rework. Gear should be important. We want players to hold on to the gear they find is cool or helps them achieve a desired playstyle without the need to replay activities when they reach power limit to get another version of that gear. So we've introduced the upgrade system. Okay. Allow players to infuse. They even said infuse. They're just copying Destiny. Players to infuse their gear and increase its power level along with player progression. The gear you like can now be carried along your journey to max power levels with a few rules. Only epic or higher quality gear can be upgraded. Gear can only be upgraded with gear in the same slot. AKA a ranged piece can only be upgraded using a ranged piece of a higher power level. Minor artifacts share a pool. Power level. The upgrade system only uses gear above power level 100. So if your hero is above power level 100, the gear itself must be at least power level 100. Okay. Upgrade costs. The players can now improve the power level of an item by consuming a power level item higher and paying the upgrade cost. The cost is fragments and upgrade modules and will be modified based on a few factors. The upgrade cost will be increased if the rarity of a gear piece is less than the gear piece being upgraded. For example, if a player is using an epic gear piece to upgrade a legendary, the cost will be higher. Conversely, if you get a discount consuming a higher quality item. So for example, if you have an exotic that you really want to upgrade, but you have an epic that's a higher level, you're going to pay an arm and a leg in fragments to upgrade that. But conversely, if you get an exotic of a higher level that you don't want and you really want to upgrade your nut epic, it's going to be pretty cheap. The same gear being upgraded to the power level 100 to power level 102 will cost 200 fragments, 20 modules. Okay, I don't know what that means. These costs start increasing beyond power level 140 and do not include rarity modifications. Okay. When you view gear above power level 100, you will see a prompt for upgrading. Okay. This will bring you to a new menu that is applicable to be used for upgrading. You can then view the cost to upgrade and preview what the final result will be after upgrading. Okay. Yes. So you will consume one piece of gear and you will get the higher level gear. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Below is an example of a cost difference. So, okay. Oh, because they're consuming. So when you're consuming an epic to an epic, it costs, in this case, 174 upgrade modules, which is a fucking lot. But if you're using a legendary, it's only going to cost a little less. Okay, whatever. So what's happening to the gear you already have? Well, first, all gear dropping in this update will now have all perks unlocked by default. That's nice. They said that. All existing epic or higher gear pieces can be upgraded to 140. You can upgrade gear to power level 150 with items obtained from completing both the Omega level threat family reunion or discordant sound raids. You can obtain gear up to power level 165 by completing the elite version of the discordant sound raid. So that's it. So this is interesting. So the family reunion Omega level threat and the regular normal mode raid can drop gear to 150. So that's 10 higher. Right now our gear only goes to 140, remember. That can get you to gear to 150. Past that, you have to do the elite raid. The elite raid is going to be the only place to get things higher than 150. So that's how you get to 165 to then subsequently 175. So that's really interesting because the raid itself is going to be 175. So you can get yourself to prepare for it before the first time you even do it. You can get to 150 plus 10, 160. So you're still going to be 15 15 power lower than the raid at its highest level. So it's going to be a challenge either way. It's going to be a tough fucking raid, but, you know, assuming you've got a bomb squad team, I think you'll be able to do it. And then once you're at level, once you're at 175, assuming you know the mechanics, we'll have to see if the elite version has different mechanics. Sometimes they throw in like the puzzle works differently on the elite version to make it harder, but they might do that, they might not do that. So we'll see. Oops. All right. Well, that was very interesting, chat. What do you guys think about that? Why would they remove resources? Well, it's going to streamline the resources that get used, right? So it's going to make it simpler so you don't have to juggle 100 different resources, you know? My game has normally been Division 1 and 2, played this beta but never bought the game till recently, so now I've got 4 characters to end game max and builds. Love the grind. Love the game. Yo, AMS, it's a great game, man. It just needs more. Like, that's how you know the game is good, when people want more, right? If people played this game and just said, this game sucks, I don't want to play it anymore, then you know it's bad. Then you know they've failed. They have not failed because the primary complaint is there's not enough. When someone says there's not enough, that means they like it and they want more. Right? So, anyway, I'm still hyped. I'm hyped for the game. I'm hyped for the raid. I'm hyped for Spider-Man. I'm hyped for the new gear, the gear reworks, or the whole system. Like I said, it's going to completely change the dynamic of how the game works, right? Like, we're going to be playing a totally different game come November 30th. If you thought you were playing Avengers, like, what you play after November 30th is going to be something totally different. It's the raid, assuming like it's what I expect it to be, is going to be unlike any content you've experienced in this game. If you've played Division or Destiny and you've played those raids, you'll probably have an idea of what to expect. But if Avengers is like really your only looter game, you're going to be in for a whirlwind of totally harder, different, unique content than what you're used to playing in Avengers. Not enough what? Enough. That's what I mean. Like, just more content, more stuff, more things. Like, if the game sucked, people would not want more. They would just say, this game sucks, I don't want to play it, I don't care. The game is fun. People like the game. They just want the game to have more stuff. Right? So like when people insult the game and say like, oh, you know, there's always trolls. People say like, oh, there's nothing to do. There's this, that, the other. And you see like all these clown YouTubers. Like, it's not, I mean, yes, it's obviously a slight against the game, and yes, the game needs more content, but the fact that like the fact that the cry is for more content means that the game is a liked game, right? So that's that. Feel like experimental builds are not going to be worth the resource grind. Well, we'll have to see, Penny. I mean, let's be clear too that you're only going to need to be up to 175 for the elite raid. That's very specifically the only thing you're going to be needing to be 175 for. So you can definitely, I think you're going to be fine. If you want to test some different builds, you can test them at 140, right? 150, and do whatever other, you could do a hive, you could do a whatever, you could do an omega level threat. You can test different builds out without having to get all of the gear in those builds to 165, 175, right? And then if it does turn out to be good, then you want to invest more, I say go for it. I mean, it seems like all of the fragments and upgrade modules, it's just going to be stuff we get for playing the game, right? There's no lockout, there's no nothing. Everything in some way, missions, enemies, boxes, mission chains, big raids, whatever, everything is just going to be hitting us with fragments nonstop. So even if things cost a lot of fragments, we're going to get bombarded with them. So I think we're going to be good in that sense. All right, guys. Well, this has been fun. I think I am going to call it for the night. We've been live for about 3 hours now. But yo, GG's to everybody. Yo, appreciate you hanging out. This has been a sweet developer stream / stream. Definitely going to stream again more this weekend for sure. And possibly, more next week. So definitely hit that sub button if you haven't already. I got a couple new videos in the works that you're going to want to see. So definitely, I mean, if you're watching the stream now, you're already pretty deep into it. You might as well hit that sub button. Doesn't cost you a dime. And it'll let you know when new videos come out and all that good stuff. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. Yo, take it easy. Appreciate you hanging out. Good luck in the game. And hopefully November 30th comes as fast as it can, man. Take it easy, everybody. I'll